Chapter 1194. Probe. After the stone door opened, Xian Rujing's hair is coiled up. Her body is wrapped in a thick white gown. The painful expression on her face has not disappeared. It is clear that she suffered great pain just now. Qin Yun guessed that Xian Rujing used too much divine liquid. That is why she is unable to endure the pain. What is it? Speak here. Xian Rujing is standing at the door. She is not going out. Are you using divine liquid to cultivate? Qin Yun asked. Xian Rujing is startled. She said in cold voice, How did you know? Did you peek at me? No. My hearing is very sharp. I heard your painful shout. Qin Yun laughed. I was just guessing, but now I can sense the aura of divine liquid from your body. Wait. Xian Rujing closed the stone door. She must be going back to her clothes. Ling Yuner yelled, Xiao Yun, take this chance to use Extinction Spirit Eye. Quickly. Qin Yun curled his lips and said, What is there to look at? Look at yourself. Ling Yuner is inside Qin Yun's mental space. She swung her legs and yelled, I like to look at beautiful women. You can see it. I can also see it. Let me enjoy my eyes. Qin Yun is speechless. Even though this Dao spirit is a little demoness, she is very lustful. As an honest person, Qin Yun will not let Ling Yuner have her way. He sat on a stone bench inside the living room. After a while, Xian Rujing opened the door and came out. She is wearing loose white dress and is sitting on the stone bench. You want to talk to me about divine liquid? Xian Rujing asked. She is very curious how Qin Yun knows about it. Rujing, where did you get your divine liquid? Qin Yun wants to probe whether or not Xian Rujing is Snow Goddess clone. If she is, then he is dealing with a very awesome god. Moreover, he bullied Snow Goddess clone before. Why should I tell you? Xian Rujing glared at Qin Yun. We are so familiar with each other. Why don't you tell me? Qin Yun said with a smile. First tell me about you and divine liquid. Did you use it? Xian Rujing's beautiful eyes flickered with curiosity as she stared at Qin Yun. If I tell you the secret between me and the divine liquid without holding anything back, will you do the same to me? Qin Yun was not that foolish. Of course, Xian Rujing said. I want to discuss with you on how to better use divine liquid. It must be known that Xian Rujing used Sun and Moon Heart Sutra with Qin Yun before. Therefore, she brought Qin Yun here to help with her cultivation. Now that I've seen you here, I feel like I've become a different person. You are both familiar and unfamiliar to me. Qin Yun looked at Xian Rujing and said with a smile, I am very curious. How did you become like this? I'll tell you. But first tell me, did you obtain divine liquid? Xian Rujing guessed that Qin Yun might have become a divine servant. Qin Yun said with mischievous smile, Of course I did. Evil God gave it to me. I still have some with me. Xian Rujing said with sneer, Evil God's divine liquid? This kind of trash little God's divine liquid. What use can it have? Qin Yun laughed embarrassedly. He cursed Evil God in his heart. Why is he so bad that people call him trash little God? He also doesn't know what kind of feeling Evil God will have after hearing this kind of evaluation. Rujing, what is your relationship with Snow Goddess? Qin Yun said with a smile, It is time for you to answer me. I heard that Snow Goddess is very awesome, a lot more awesome than Evil God. Of course, Evil God is not even fit to carry Snow Goddess shoes. Xian Rujing's tone is filled with disdain. She glanced at Qin Yun and said, How can you mingle with a small character like Evil God? Your foundation is not bad. You actually became Evil God's divine servant. It can be seen that Xian Rujing is very unhappy. When she looked at Qin Yun, her expression is filled with regret and hidden bitterness. I am not Evil God's divine servant. We are equal partners. Qin Yun said. Really? Xian Rujing's expression became a lot better. She said with sneer, You must remember, don't be fooled. Don't ever become a divine servant. I know this. Quickly tell me, what is your relationship with Snow Goddess? Qin Yun asked again. Me and Snow Goddess are also partners. But our relationship is very good. We can talk about anything. That's all. Xian Rujing looked at Qin Yun and said. Qin Yun has been staring at Xian Rujing's eyes all along. Her expression is indifferent and calm. It looks like she is speaking very naturally. However, Qin Yun feels that she is lying. He has probed more or less. If Xian Rujing wants to tell him, she will not hide anything from him. Qin Yun, if you want to cooperate with other gods, I can introduce even better gods to you. Xian Rujing said again. How good? Qin Yun really wants to know. You have to pass their assessment. This process is a bit troublesome. Wait until you become an immortal. The current you is not good enough for them. Xian Rujing took out a small bottle and handed it over to Qin Yun. Qin Yun opened the bottle and realized that it contains divine liquid. He said with mischievous smile, the quality is indeed much better than evil gods. Do all the gods you introduce to me have this kind of divine liquid? Of course not. I can't guarantee that you will cooperate with them, because they are very picky. Xian Rujing said. Then forget it. I will cooperate with evil god. Qin Yun doesn't need to lower his voice when facing evil god. He is on equal footing with evil god. Xian Rujing stroked her long hair and casually said, do as you wish. Qin Yun is more and more certain that Xian Rujing is Snow Goddess Avatar. This is most likely the case. It is possible that she came here not long ago, and because of some reason, she became acquainted with Snow Goddess, and her avatar awakened her memories. What makes Qin Yun doubtful is that if Xian Rujing is truly Snow Goddess Avatar, she is too weak and doesn't know how to use divine liquid. Rujing, you and I are good friends. We will sleep together tonight. Since we are such close friends, I will teach you a method to absorb divine liquid. Qin Yun said with smile. You used to soak in immortal liquid to absorb divine liquid. It must be very painful. Xian Rujing's face is filled with disdain as she laughed and said, Qin Yun, you want to teach me how to absorb divine liquid? Truly funny. I know much more about divine liquid than you. I don't need you to teach me, even though my method is very painful. It is the best method to absorb divine liquid. Qin Yun cursed the ignorant snow goddess in his heart, but on the surface he said with mischievous smile, what if I really have a method? If you really can do it, I will give you a kiss. If you can do it, I will kiss you. Xian Rujing said with disdainful smile, what if I really have a method? What good will it do for me if you kiss me? How about this? You give me a vat of divine liquid. Qin Yun doesn't like the kiss of this ice mother tigress. His body has been kissed a few times. Many teeth marks have been left on his body. It is very painful. Xian Rujing suddenly laughed heartily. Her ice-cold laughter has a trace of ridicule. You think my divine liquid is like rainwater? You can just find it anywhere? A vat of divine liquid? It is enough for me to use for 8 to 10 years. I myself only have one vat. All right, I'm going to cultivate. I just gave you a small bottle of divine liquid. You should properly use it. Remember, start with half a drop. I am worried that you won't be able to bear it. Every time I use 3 drops, I feel like I'm hovering between life and death. Xian Rujing doesn't believe that there is no way to use divine liquid without pain. She directly entered her room, closed the door, and continued bathing. Qin Yun returned to his room and took out a pot. He asked Nangong Shiru, Yao Fong, and Yang Yang to refine this pot together. They added a bit of Immortal King beast horn material, so it is very sturdy. It can also become big or small. Now he is carving runes inside the pot. They are all fire attribute runes or totem runes. Among them is 9th Heaven Xian Sparrow totem rune. Qin Yun is very serious in carving. Nighttime, he felt that Xian Rujing should have come out to sleep with him, but she did not. You said you would sleep with me, liar. Qin Yun shook his head and smiled. Xian Rujing is still absorbing the divine liquid. She is suffering from pain. Qin Yun used Extinction Spirit Eye to see that Xian Rujing's body is inside the water. Only her head can be seen. Her beautiful jade-like face is tightly wrinkled because of pain. After daybreak, Qin Yun finished carving runes. He took out a sound transmission magic tool and sent sound transmission to Xian Rujing. Didn't you say you would sleep with me last night? Last night, I was on tenterhooks. I was afraid that someone would plot against me. I could not sleep at all. Qin Yun, don't play dumb. Who can plot against you? Even if all the people in Immortal Mansion died, you would not die. Xian Rujing's voice is filled with a trace of pain. I am cultivating. Wait until I am done. I will talk to you. Qin Yin no longer disturbed Xian Rujing. Ling Yuner said, "She must be at a crucial point in her cultivation, so she cannot stop. She is truly ice and snow goddess avatar. Only she knows her current situation." After Qin Yin finished with the pot, he took out the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron. The heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron became very small. It became like a stove. Qin Yin placed the pot on the mouth of the cauldron and then took out a lot of dragon meat. He wants to boil a pot of fragrant dragon meat soup. Yang Yang came out. This little purplish gold bird excitedly flew around as soon as it came out. It dragged its 9 long tail feathers and chirped because there was dragon meat here. Yang Yang, do you want to eat dragon meat mixed with divine liquid? Qin Yin grabbed the little guy and asked in earnest. Yang Yang nodded its little head and chirped. I will feed you some dragon meat mixed with divine liquid, but you must listen to me. Otherwise, I won't let you eat anymore, Qin Yin said in stern voice. Yang Yang nodded again. Qin Yin took out the bottle of divine liquid given to him by Xian Rujing and poured more than 10 drops into the pot of dragon meat. Then he lightly grabbed Yang Yang's body, pointed its beak at the gap between the pot and the cauldron, and let Yang Yang breathe fire inside. Yang Yang is 9th Heaven Shin Sparrow, transformed from Sun Soul. Her flame is very strong. In just a short while, the dragon meat inside the pot began to boil. Qin Yin kept adding immortal liquid to prevent it from being burnt dry. Chapter 1195. Dragon Meat for Divine Liquid. Chapter 1195. Dragon meat for divine liquid. Qin Yin can no longer hold on to Yang Yang. He can only let her fly while spewing fire. Because the purple gold feathers on Yang Yang's body are very hot. He looked at his hand. It is burning red. Yang Yang is truly awesome, Qin Yin said with a smile. If Qin Yin used beast oil to boil this kind of soup, it would take a long time and consume a lot of beast oil. But now with Yang Yang's help, it will be much faster. After it is done, Qin Yin will let Yang Yang eat a portion. Less than half an hour later, a pot of fragrant meat soup is ready. It is golden and dazzling. It is blossoming with golden radiance. Yang Yang, you worked hard the most. You eat first, Qin Yin said with a smile. There are dragon bones and dragon meat inside the pot. Yang Yang used her mental power to control the dragon bones to float up. There's some dragon meat inside the dragon bones. She can only eat these. There's still a lot of dragon meat and soup inside the pot. Very kind, Qin Yin said with a smile. Yang Yang happily chirped. She wants to return to the 9-sun divine soul and properly enjoy her meal. Qin Yin brought Yang Yang back, then made another pot for Nangong Shiru and Shui Weiwei to taste. Then he took the pot of meat soup and went to knock on Xian Rujing's door. What is it? Xian Rujing yelled. Her voice is filled with pain. I want to discuss how to painlessly use divine liquid, Qin Yin said with a smile. Come in, Xian Rujing yelled while gasping for breath. The stone door is not closed. Qin Yin pushed it open and entered. This is also because Xian Rujing predicted that Qin Yin would not dare to casually enter. Xian Rujing's body is soaking in the water. She is not afraid of Qin Yin seeing her. She is even less afraid of Qin Yin messing around. After Qin Yin entered, he sat beside the square bathtub and placed the pot of fragrant dragon meat on the side. Dragon meat. Xian Rujing opened her eyes wide. She saw the golden and dazzling mist inside the pot and sensed the aura of divine liquid. She said in amazement, You are refining divine liquid inside? Indeed, divine liquid is fused into dragon meat. After eating dragon meat, one can absorb divine liquid through dragon meat and not feel any pain, Qin Yin said with a smile. Then he picked up a piece of dragon meat and ate it. He deliberately made slurping sounds. Xian Rujing is gritting her teeth in anger. She's enduring pain while Qin Yin is eating delicious dragon meat. If she was not naked, she would have already jumped out and bit Qin Yin. Don't you feel pain after eating dragon meat? Xian Rujing looked at Qin Yin. She is very curious in her heart. She never thought of this kind of method. The main reason was because the conditions did not allow it. Not everyone had so much dragon meat on them, and they also needed a very strong flame and a good pot. If he directly roasted, it would take a long time. Therefore, Qin Yun asked Nangong Shiru to refine a very powerful pot. Is it really effective? I don't believe it. Xian Rujing really wants to taste it. Qin Yun took out a bowl, filled it with meat soup, and placed a spoon on it. Then he handed it over to Xian Rujing and said with a smile, I am not that stingy, have a taste. Will your stomach hurt? Xian Rujing took the soup and smelled it. Her appetite has been aroused, but she doesn't dare to eat. It must be known that Qin Yun asked Nangong Shiru for many spices. All of them are king-tier medicinal ingredients. Xian Rujing did not wait for Qin Yun to reply. She took a small sip, then scooped up the dragon meat and began eating. She doesn't care too much. Even if she dies of pain, she cannot let her stomach down. In just a short while, Xian Rujing finished eating the dragon meat. After eating, she immediately sensed the energy of divine liquid flowing through her body. She hastily circulated her power to guide it. Still want to eat? Qin Yun said with a smile. Eat. Quickly take it out. Xian Rujing is also not polite. She wants to confirm whether this method of absorbing divine liquid is better than soaking in bath or not. Xian Rujing ate another bowl and quickly confirmed that this method of absorbing divine liquid is better than soaking in bath. At least she doesn't have to suffer. She looked at the meat soup and asked, How much divine liquid did you put in? More than 10 drops. Qin Yun said, Of course, I ate a lot before. I will give you a bottle of divine liquid. There are about 100 drops inside. I will exchange it for this pot of meat soup. Xian Rujing is also not asking for Qin Yun's soup for free. All right. Qin Yun took the pot with chuckle. Xian Rujing took out a rather large pot and began collecting the meat soup. After obtaining the bottle of divine liquid, Qin Yun very happily walked out of the room. Xian Rujing began wolfing down the food inside the room. Qin Yun sat in the living room, crossed his legs, and whistled in satisfaction. Xian Rujing's divine liquid is indeed better than evil gods. Yuner, you said that if this Xian Rujing is truly Ice Goddess Avatar, she should have Ice Goddess memories. How could she be so stupid? Qin Yun feels that Xian Rujing is a bit stupid. You think everyone is like you who can casually obtain dragon meat? That is not easy to obtain. Moreover, it must be top-quality dragon meat and also flame. Xian Rujing cultivates ice and snow power. How can she have such powerful flame? Ling Yuner said with a smile. Also, there's that pot. It is a very easy matter to smash a first tribulation half immortal to death with that pot. Bang, bang, bang. Suddenly, someone knocked on the stone door of the cave. Qin Yun stopped whistling. He walked to the door of Xian Rujing's room and asked, Rujing, someone is knocking on the door. Who is it? Your friend? In this place, I only have one friend, you. Xian Rujing said, You go open the door. No matter who it is, just say that I am in seclusion and you can send them away. Qin Yun opened the door and saw that the person knocking on the door is a red-clothed woman. This woman is rather short and small. She has a sharp and fair face. She is very delicate. She could be considered very beautiful, but she does not have any special temperament. She is a kind of spoiled and unruly girl who suffers from princess disease. Man, who are you? The red-clothed woman looked at Qin Yun as if she had seen a ghost and shouted loudly. I am Xian Rujing's servant. What matter do you have with my master? She is in seclusion. She can't come out now. Qin Yun said, You should at least invite me in first. The red-clothed woman said with arrogant expression after knowing that Qin Yun is a servant. Take out your city entrance token and immortal mansion token. Qin Yun took out 2 tokens, one black and one white, proving that he is indeed Xian Rujing's servant. Xian Rujing actually found a male slave. Moreover, he looks very decent. The red-clothed woman looked at Qin Yun's handsome and mature face and coquettishly smiled. It is as if she has seen her prey. Qin Yun put away the token and asked, My master cannot receive guests now. I hope you can understand. Whether she can receive guests or not, you have to let me in first. This is etiquette. The red-clothed woman's tone became very strict. How did Xian Rujing teach this servant? You don't even understand this little bit. Who are you? I will first confirm your identity. Qin Yun is not buying this kind of trick. My master is Xian Ling Xue. She is one level higher than Xian Rujing. She is a third tribulation half immortal. So I'm also one level higher than you. You have to be very polite when you see me. The red-clothed woman said, and took out her 2 tokens. Qin Yun sneered in his heart. This red-clothed woman is also a servant, but she is acting so savage in front of him. Moreover, she even dares to call Xian Rujing by her name. It is clear that her master Xian Lingxue is also a very rude and unreasonable person. The red-clothed woman is called Xia Yang. She arrogantly looked at Qin Yun and coldly shouted, "Still not inviting me in?" Qin Yun adheres to the principle of not causing trouble. He can only invite Xia Yang in. After Xia Yang entered, she saw that the inside is very simple and crude. She said with sneer, "This is Xian Rujing's residence? It is not even comparable to my master's kennel. This Xia Yang is merely a peak martial emperor." Qin Yun feels that his piercing mountain, splitting earth finger, and nether sun fire is enough to completely destroy her. "Sit anywhere you want," Qin Yun said. "You are Xian Rujing's male slave. Have you been castrated?" Generally speaking, when a woman takes in a male slave, she castrates him. Xia Yahong's expression is filled with ridicule. Apparently, she feels that Qin Yun has been castrated. "Xia Yang, since you think my kennel is a kennel, then quickly scram." Xian Rujing's voice came out from the stone door. She is also afraid that Qin Yun will flip out and destroy Xia Yahong's corpse. "Xian Rujing, aren't you in death seclusion? You can actually still speak," Xia Yang said with sneer. Qin Yun is immediately puzzled. How awesome is the master behind Xia Yang to actually make a little maid like her dare to speak to Xian Rujing like this? A bitch barked too arrogantly. "I was woken up." Xian Rujing's ice-cold voice is filled with dense, killing intent. It reverberated in the hall. Xia Yang is trembling in fear. Her expression changed, and she immediately restrained herself. "My master invites you to represent Immortal Mansion's young, outstanding talents in 3 days to go and interact with other aristocratic families of Immortal Desolate." Xia Yang finished speaking and then left in panic. Qin Yun closed the stone door of the cave. Xian Rujing furiously groaned. "This Xian Lingxue is pulling me in this kind of situation. She clearly wants me to be compared to her, to show off her position in Immortal Mansion. This wretched slut. That little girl is very arrogant. I can see that Xian Lingxue is also very arrogant," Qin Yun said with smile. "That's right. Xian Lingxue has an innate immortal body. She has 6 immortal veins. Her martial spirit has already evolved to immortal martial spirit. Her talent is equal to mine, but this woman has many tricks. She obtained great amount of resources. That is why she is a third tribulation half immortal." Xian Rujing has belly full of anger when mentioning Xian Lingxue. "So what if she is a third tribulation half immortal? You are a second tribulation half immortal. Aren't you stronger than her?" Qin Yun feels that when facing a third tribulation half immortal, if he uses equipment, he will be able to fly freely. "I am indeed weaker than her. I was not in Immortal Desolate when I crossed tribulation. I was also not in Immortal Mansion. That is why I missed out on many benefits after crossing tribulation. That is why I am weaker than her. Otherwise, with my second tribulation half immortal cultivation, I would have beaten that slut up," Xian Rujing very unwillingly said. Qin Yun is suddenly very curious. How strong is this Xian Lingxue? According to reason, a devil like Xian Rujing should be able to win against higher level people. Yet now she is being suppressed. Chapter 1196. Ancient Golem Qin Yun pushed open the stone door and entered. He saw Xian Rujing drinking dragon meat soup. She has already finished eating the dragon meat. Xian Rujing is not soaking in the water. Instead, she is wearing a white gown. That square bathtub is covered with a thick layer of board and turned into a bed. Soft snow-white fur is spread on top of the bed. It looks very comfortable. "I say, why do you care so much about your face? That Xian Lingxue wants to humiliate you. You can just not go. Didn't you tell me to stay out of trouble? You want me to vent your anger for you? Maybe it will cause trouble." Qin Yun came to the bedside and sat down. He touched the white fur cushion and felt that it was very comfortable. You don't have to worry about getting into trouble. You are my servant. As long as I ask you to do something, it has nothing to do with you." After Xian Rujing finished drinking the soup, she took out a very big jade bottle. It is unknown what is inside, but after opening the lid, a very fragrant and sweet smell came out. Qinyan sniffed and guessed that it was something delicious. He took out a large cup and handed it over. Xian Rujing poured a cup for Qinyan and said again, "That exchange gathering is actually a gathering for the young disciples of the major factions to probe each other's intentions, inquire about information, and so on. That is why I must go. It will give me the opportunity to obtain information about the most precious treasure." Qinyan drank a mouthful of water and exclaimed in admiration, "What is this? It's very fragrant and sweet. Immortal bee jade nectar. That cup in your hand is worth over 10,000 king grade region origin stones. I only have one bottle every half a year," Xian Rujing said. Xian Rujing also drank a cup. Qinyan gulped it down in one gulp. The aftertaste lingered in his mind. He felt that his body was warm and comfortable. "Follow me to the exchange meeting in 3 days. I'll let you fight based on the situation. After this is done, I will give you a bottle of divine liquid." Xian Rujing faintly smiled, seeing Qinyan licking the cup. "Only one bottle? Too little." Qinyan feels that Xian Rujing has a lot of divine liquid. He wants to get as much as possible. 2 bottles. Xian Rujing lightly glared at Qinyan. 3 bottles. Qinyan said with smile. "Don't push your luck. Only 2 bottles. Do you want them or not?" Xian Rujing delicately groaned and said. Qinyan handed over the cup and said with smile, "Another cup. That's all." Xian Rujing poured a few drops into Qinyan's cup and said, "Immortal bee jade nectar is very rare. Even with region origin stones, it is very difficult to buy. After eating it, it could adjust the compatibility between the physical body and energy. It was very useful. I might be able to get some for the exchange 3 days later." He wants to give some to Nangong Shuuru to see if she can use it to concoct pills. Nangong Shui was currently tormenting the senseless immortal tree. As long as it bore fruit, it could be used to refine senseless immortal pills. After eating it, one would not feel any pain. "Qinyan, I want to sleep now. Do you want to sleep?" Xian Rujing asked. "I'm very energetic now. I don't want to sleep." Qinyan said with smile, "Let's talk about it at night. Hurry up and take a bath, then accompany me to sleep." Xian Rujing yelled with a commanding tone. "I want to refine divine liquid. I want you to cultivate with me. It will also be very beneficial to you." Qinyan realized what Xian Rujing's objective is when he heard this. "I don't need to sleep during cultivation, right?" Qinyan said with smile. "I want to use another secret method with you. It will be best if you lie down." Xian Rujing said again. Qinyan can only take a bath. Then bare upper body jumped onto the fragrant and soft bed and said with smile, "This feeling is very good. Oh, that's right. You said before that if I can let you absorb divine liquid without pain, you will kiss me. Relax. I don't need your kiss. I don't want your kiss." "Ha ha ha. Even if you don't want it, I will still kiss you. I will keep my promise." Xian Rujing pressed down Qinyan, who was lying on the bed, then quickly bent down and forcibly kissed Qinyan. After a while, Xian Rujing vigorously pinched Qinyan's chest and said with cold groan, "You bastard, didn't you say you don't want it?" She licked her lips. She is normally ice cold, but now she has a kind of sexy charm. "Am I not afraid that you will bite me?" Qinyan said with mischievous smile. "Don't talk. Let's begin cultivation." Xian Rujing grabbed Qinyan's hand and said, "I will take the lead in this cultivation. You just lie down." Qinyan is very happy with this kind of cultivation. After all, he can just lie down and absorb divine liquid's power. Xian Rujing wants to refine the divine liquid. If they cultivate together, they will be able to refine it even faster and absorb it even better. When cultivating together, the more women there are, the better the effect. Qinyan suddenly said, "Of course, but where can I find so many women to cultivate with?" Xian Rujing rolled her eyes. "Don't expect to find a trustworthy woman here. Let me tell you, even though that Xian Lingxue is very beautiful, she is a vicious and merciless person. You cannot trust her." "What do you mean?" I have not even met her yet. Why are you worried that I will get along with her? Qin Yun is very speechless. I am worried that you will be tricked by her. That woman's methods are very brilliant. Xian Rujing lied down beside Qin Yun and pulled his hand. Let's cultivate together for the time being. Sister Steamed Bun and Water Fairy are following me. I will let them come out. Qin Yun suddenly said, They're still following you? You put them in a dark storage artifact. Do you feel guilty about it? You are truly selfish. Xian Rujing immediately jumped up and reprimanded Qin Yun. Quickly let them come out. It must be very uncomfortable inside. My storage magic tool is very good. It is 10,000 times better than your broken cave. Qin Yun said with smile, and then let Zi Qingsheng and Shui Tianzi come out. Xian Rujing also knows them. Moreover, their relationship is very good. They cultivated together before. What caused Xian Rujing to be amazed is that both Zi Qingsheng and Shui Tianzi are now First Tribulation half-immortals. She thought that Qin Yun is already First Tribulation half-immortal. It is already very fast. However, both Shui Tianzi and Zi Qingsheng are also very fast. As soon as Shui Tianzi came out, she saw Qin Yun holding his upper body and revealing his robust muscles. She smiled coquettishly and started pinching and kneading Qin Yun's body. Qin Yun felt somewhat embarrassed and quickly put on his clothes. Zi Qingsheng said with smile, If we cultivate together, how about we let Sister Shuru come out? Also Wei Wei and Xiao Fei. We taught them Sun and Moonheart Sutra. They also want to give it a try. Xian Rujing looked at Qin Yun with disdain. He actually brought so many women with him. Soon after, Qin Yun let Nangong Shuru, Shui Wei Wei, and Gu Qiufei come out. Xian Rujing is stunned seeing these three women. Shui Wei Wei looks like a 13 or 14-year-old little girl, but she is also a First Tribulation half-immortal. Gu Qiufei looks very young, but she is also a half-immortal. Nangong Shuru, being a Fourth Tribulation half-immortal, caused Xian Rujing to be the most startled. Nangong Shuru's appearance is extremely beautiful. Even Xian Rujing can't help but take a few glances at her. She is secretly jealous in her heart. Especially Nangong Shuru's gentleness. It makes Xian Rujing feel very comfortable. Since many people are cultivating together, it is equivalent to many people refining the divine liquid inside Xian Rujing's body together. The refining speed is very fast. Originally, Xian Rujing thought it would take 4 to 5 days to completely refine the divine liquid, but now only took 2 days. Qin Yun and others benefited greatly after refining the divine liquid. They are very happy. Nangong Shuru also secretly exclaimed in admiration at how good the Sun and Moonheart Sutra is. She, Shui Wei Wei, and Gu Qiufei thanked Xian Rujing and then hastily returned to continue refining longevity jade nectar. After the women returned to the Nine Sun Divine Soul, Xian Rujing sniffed the lingering fragrance, then patted Qin Yun and said with delicate groan, Very good. You can bring a few women to cultivate together. Your days are very free and unfettered. Not bad. Qin Yun stretched his lower body. He feels that this method of refining divine liquid is very good. What surprised him is that Xian Rujing used her own cultivation method to refine the divine liquid, so the effect is even better. Nangong Shuru also said that refining divine liquid is much better than refining it herself. Shuiru is a Fourth Tribulation half-immortal, yet she is willing to follow you? How did you trick her into joining your pirate ship? Xian Rujing is very curious about Nangong Shuru. After all, she is a very powerful and beautiful woman. She is an inscription pill master. I have many inscription inheritances and pills in my hands. Moreover, she is very bored staying in ancient domain, so she followed me. Qin Yun very earnestly said, Don't think too much. There is nothing between me and her. You and I are even closer. At least we kissed. You bastard, be a bit nicer to this Shuru. Don't bully her just because she is gentle and kind. Do you understand? Xian Rujing's ice-cold expression is filled with threat as she vigorously pinched Qin Yun's shoulder. Just as Qin Yun wanted to say something, someone vigorously knocked on the door, issuing loud bang 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 sound. The people who came to find you are so arrogant. It can be seen from the sound of the door knocking. Qin Yun laughed. Queen Rujing, your position here is too low. These bastards, sooner or later, I will beat them to death. Xian Rujing heard the rude knocking and immediately became furious. She tidied up her hair and clothes and walked out of the room. Qin Yun followed her out and then quickly removed the fragrance on his body so as to not arouse suspicion. After Xian Rujing opened the door, she saw a middle-aged man. This middle-aged man has 2 strands of beard. He is wearing golden armor and a black scabbard large saber is hanging on his waist. It's you, big brother? What's the matter? Xian Rujing asked. Rujing, even though I'm only your cousin, my family instructed me to look after you a bit. Don't mess around with other men. Your dual spirit 8 sun immortal veins is very precious. Don't casually give it to other people. The middle-aged man finished speaking, then looked inside and saw Qin Yun is inside the living room. Xian Rujing knows that the matter of her taking in a servant will spread very quickly. She explained, he is just my servant. He is just very good-looking. That's all. Not to mention him, even if it was a very strong immortal, I would not necessarily take a fancy to them. Big brother, don't worry. Chapter 1197. Fuyun Heaven Seal, Big Brother, will you come in and sit? Xian Rujing asked. The middle-aged man walked in and saw how simple the cave was. He frowned and said, how can you stand this kind of place? Why don't you move in with us? I don't want to go. This place is pretty good. Xian Rujing walked in, took out a rather large stone stool, and let the middle-aged man sit down. Then she said to Qin Yun, this is my eldest cousin brother Xian Fengli. He is a 4th tribulation half-immortal. Xian Fengli looked at Qin Yun with disdain and yelled, since you are Rujing's servant, you should act like one. He even asked Rujing to move the stool. Big brother, my servant is a 1st tribulation half-immortal. Where do you think I can find this kind of servant? Xian Rujing said this because she does not want Xian Fengli to look down on Qin Yun. Xian Fengli is slightly startled. He cannot see that Qin Yun is a 1st tribulation half-immortal. He coldly groaned and said, this 1st tribulation half-immortal is willing to be your servant. He must have some ulterior motive. You must be careful. It's best to castrate him. Xian Rujing is truly speechless, but in her heart she feels that this is very funny because many people want to castrate Qin Yun. A 1st tribulation half-immortal manservant is so strong. If he is castrated, wouldn't his strength regress? What use do I have for him? Xian Rujing sighed and said, big brother, this is my matter. You don't need to meddle in it. Qin Yun is suddenly very curious about the ancient puppet, so he sent sound transmission to Xian Rujing, asking her to ask more about this matter. Big brother, is that ancient puppet in your hands? Can you show it to me? Xian Rujing asked. It's not in my hands. It's with little elder. I have a part in catching them too. That puppet is very powerful. I dare say that you are absolutely not a match for that puppet. When Xian Fengli spoke of this matter, he also felt a lingering fear in his heart. He sighed, even if I were to face that puppet, I'm afraid that I would be injured before I could defeat it. What does that puppet look like? Xian Rujing asked again. Xian Fengli thought for a bit and said, very ordinary, a bald head. Due to the passage of time, the shape of his face has changed greatly. Moreover, after many battles, his face has been beaten to a pulp. However, his body is very sturdy. That's right, the puppet's body can block immortal tools. Of course, in order to obtain a more complete puppet, we did not destroy it. This is also for the convenience of research. Xian Rujing nodded her head and asked, is this puppet truly refined by immortal King Fuyun? Are you sure? Xian Fengli said with certainty, yes, the puppet has the mark of the floating cloud heaven seal. It can't be wrong. Legend has it that the Fuyun heavenly seal was an extremely terrifying saint artifact. It was also the strongest item of immortal King Fuyun. Puppets become very terrifying because they are branded with this imprint. Qin Yun never expected that his past life would have so many good things. He also wants to know where he put the floating cloud heavenly seal in his past life. Big brother, Xian Lingxue is little elder's sister. Doesn't that mean she is together with the puppet now? Xian Rujing stamped her foot and said, "Quickly take out the puppet and let me see it." Little sister, don't compare yourself with Xian Lingxue. She found a good man. If you also found a good man, you would not always be inferior to her. Xian Fengli shook his head and smiled. How about this? I will introduce you to an immortal. He doesn't look old at all. Xian Rujing glared at Xian Fengli and delicately yelled, "All right, you can leave. How many times have I told you? Don't try to matchmake me. I still don't want to marry." Qin Yun can also see that Xian Rujing is very polite in front of his big brother. You are a girl. If you find a strong man to rely on, you will be able to struggle for thousands of years. Xian Fengli shook his head and then walked out of the cave. After Xian Rujing closed the door, she saw Qin Yun's smiling face and coldly groaned. What are you laughing at? It's not that you don't want to marry, it's that you can't. Qin Yun said with loud laughter, then sat down and crossed his legs. Bullshit. If I wanted to marry, there would be a long line of immortals who want to marry me. Xian Rujing walked over, pinched Qin Yun's shoulder, and delicately groaned. You bastard, you always look down on me. Xian Rujing returned to her room and vigorously closed the stone door. Qin Yun used Extinction Spirit Eye to look and saw that she is taking off her clothes, so he did not continue looking. Ling Yuner said, Xiao Yun, where do you think the floating cloud heavenly seal is? I don't know. Qin Yun hastily returned to his room, took out the immortal graveyard diagram, and contacted Xie. This time, he finally managed to contact Xie. Sister Kiru, I couldn't contact you during this period of time. I was worried to death. Qin Yun heard Xie gentle and sweet voice and immediately felt relieved. Xiao Yun, I already told you, big sister has to go into seclusion from time to time. You don't need to worry about me, Xie said with light smile. What urgent matter do you need me for? I arrived at a place called Seabed Treasure Domain. Qin Yun informed Xie about the situation of Seabed Treasure Domain, and then told her about Immortal King Floating Cloud's hidden treasure. After he finished speaking, he asked, Sister Kiru, what did I deceive you about in my past life? Xiao Yun, I indeed gave you some things in your past life. You did not deceive me in your past life. Don't mind this matter. Your past life and I were very good friends, Xie gently said. Qin Yun felt relieved after hearing this. He is very worried that his past life might have let Xie down. Xie said again, if you truly hid something in Seabed Treasure Domain, and it is the most precious treasure I gave you, moreover it caused immortals to muster so many people, it might be that thing. What thing? Qin Yun asked. It might not be. You will know when you find it. Xie did not directly tell Qin Yun. This caused Qin Yun's heart to itch. He really wants to know what it is. Soon after, Qin Yun informed Xie about Xian Rujing's situation, especially about Xian Rujing and Snow Goddess. After Xie finished listening, she felt very surprised. Xiao Yun, Rujing is most likely Snow Goddess avatar. You must pay attention to have good relationship with her. All right. Qin Yun is also not sure. He is only suspecting. You mentioned floating cloud heavenly seal before, right? This is something you always carry with you. I also don't know where you put it. I will contact you well on and ask about the situation. She walked with you until the end. Maybe she knows, Xie said. All right. Qin Yun stored the immortal graveyard diagram after contacting Xie. At this time, the large golden devil horn trembled. Qin Yun took it out and heard evil god's anxious voice. Little demon Qin Yun, that woman is most likely Snow Goddess. Evil god yelled. Most likely Snow Goddess? Qin Yun is somewhat confused after hearing this. He asked, Isn't she Snow Goddess Avatar? She is Snow Goddess Avatar, but I heard a top secret information. Snow Goddess is finished in Divine Desolate. Only her soul body and Divine Life Crystal are still in Divine Desolate. If Divine Body is finished, then Snow Goddess will have to cultivate anew. Evil God is wild with joy. Little demon, that woman is snow goddess. She is snow goddess mortal body. Now that her divine body has been destroyed, she can only cultivate divine body through mortal body. Wait a minute. Qin Yun is also startled by this information and asked, "Isn't snow goddess very powerful? How could she be finished?" "I also don't know. My guess is that she courted death and cultivated some kind of cultivation technique, which led to the destruction of her divine body. In short, after her divine body was destroyed, she became very weak, so she hid it very well. Now that she wants to cultivate divine body, she will have to start anew. Wait until her mortal body passes through immortal desolate, sacred desolate, and finally divine desolate. Then she will be able to fuse with her divine soul and divine life crystal." Evil God laughed and said, "You must take advantage of this time to have good relationship with Snow Goddess. This is an opportunity to make a meteoric rise." Qin Yun still doesn't dare to believe that Xian Rujing has become such an existence. Earlier, he was even forcefully kissed by Xian Rujing. Is this speculation reliable? Qin Yun is still unable to accept it. Reliable? I don't know what method Snow Goddess used to create so many avatars in other great desolate. According to the information you provided, her other avatars are all dead. Only one is left. Moreover, her soul body in divine desolate can transfer divine liquid to her avatars through divine life crystal. Even though it is not much, it is enough to cultivate divine body. Evil God said with certainty, "Seize the opportunity. Hug Snow Goddess thigh tightly. Remember to help me in the future. She kissed me before." Qin Yun said, "What? How is this possible?" Evil God doesn't dare to believe and loudly shouted, "It's true. She forcefully kissed me. Now she wants me to help her do something. After it is done, she even let me touch her thigh." Qin Yun curled his lips and said, "That is why I don't believe that she is Snow Goddess. Is there such a good thing? How did you meet her? Why can't I meet her?" Evil God's voice is filled with jealousy. "You brat, don't let her eat you. Maybe to cultivate divine body, she needs to eat people." Qin Yun stored away the large golden devil horn. He doesn't want to continue talking nonsense with Evil God. He used Extinction Spirit Eye to look at Xian Rujing's room. He can see everything. Xian Rujing is wearing all kind of beautiful clothes. She must be preparing for tomorrow's exchange. She is Snow Goddess? How can she be so superficial? Qin Yun curled his lips and said. Qin Yun rested in his room for a whole day. Early in the morning, he took a bath and changed into a set of clean and tidy blue clothes. He tidied himself up a bit. He looks even more spirited and handsome. Xian Rujing came out of her room. She is wearing a luxurious light purple dress. Her hair is adorned with exquisite hair ornaments. She is dignified and luxurious. She is elegant but not tacky. This kind of attire is well matched with her cool and elegant temperament. She is giving off the aura of a goddess high above the masses. "Let's go. I cannot let Xian Lingxua lose today," Xian Rujing said in cold voice. Qin Yun walked out of the cave, boarded a carriage, and drove down the mountain. He doesn't know where they are going. "What I need to pay attention to during the exchange?" Qin Yun asked. "Speak less, listen to instructions, just remember these words. Whatever I tell you to do, just do as I say. If you do to my satisfaction, I will reward you with a bottle of divine liquid," Xian Rujing said. Chapter 1198. Chapter 1198. Immortal Spirit Snow. Qin Yun nodded and no longer asked. With Xian Rujing backing him up, no matter what happens, Xian Rujing will be the one to shoulder it. Under Xian Rujing's control, the large carriage left the immortal mansion and rushed through the streets of Immortal Sect City. Qin Yun guessed that they were going to another family's territory. He thought they would stay in Immortal Sect City, but not long after they left the city. Going out of the city, Qin Yun suddenly became worried because it is safer inside the city. "Of course we have to go out of the city. This way it will be more convenient, and we won't be supervised by elders. If we fight inside the city, we will be disturbed," Xian Rujing said. "You want to fight?" Qin Yun's brows are raised. "If we don't fight, won't it be very boring? Everyone goes to the exchange gathering to compete in beauty, strength, wealth, in short, all kinds of competition. Cien Rujing coldly groaned and said, "Last time I was suppressed by immortal spirit snow to the point that I couldn't even raise my head. This time, with your help, it will be a lot better." "Why would it be a lot better with my help? I'm just a slave," Qin Yin said with self-mocking smile. "You are a first tribulation half-immortal. Moreover, your strength is not weak. It is very rare among slaves. I can find such a powerful slave. I can show off," Cien Rujing proudly said. "You want me to be your male slave, just to show off?" Qin Yin suddenly feels like he has boarded a pirate ship. "Of course," Cien Rujing laughed. "When the time comes, don't say anything. I will block everything. Remember the matter of the treasure. Also, I want to research that ancient puppet. Can you help me?" Qin Yin wants to research the puppet he refined in his past life to see if he can gain any enlightenment. "I will see the situation," Cien Rujing said. The large carriage traveled for more than 2 hours and stopped on a flat grassland. Qin Yin got off the carriage first, then bowed to welcome Cien Rujing. At this moment, he also saw many luxurious carriages parked on the grassland. After Cien Rujing arrived, the first to arrive is Cien Fengli. "Big brother, the exchange gathering has not started yet?" Cien Rujing asked in low voice. "There is no one on the grassland. They are all in the carriage. They are not coming out." Cien Fengli looked all around and said again, "Ho family did not come this time. I also don't know why. If they don't come, then don't come. Are the other families here?" Cien Rujing asked. "Cien family, Ji family, Jiang family, Xin Yuan family." Cien Fengli snorted. Those fellows seem to have made new discoveries. But he didn't take it out immediately, probably because he wants to see our bottom line. But they're not coming out. They want to see our bottom. Cien Rujing brought Qin Yin and Cien Fengli to a spacious area in the prairie. At this moment, a tall, cold-faced young man walked over. This young man had a head of light blue hair that danced in the breeze as he walked over. "Little elder," Cien Rujing and Cien Fengli respectfully saluted the cold-faced youth. Qin Yin also bowed. He heard from Cien Rujing that this little elder's position in a mortal mansion is very high. He is a fourth tribulation half-immortal at such a young age and has become an elder. Therefore, everyone calls him Little Elder. This little elder's name was Cien Shaoqing, and he was Cien Lingshue's elder brother. Cien Shaoqing nodded slightly and said in an ice-cold voice, "No need to be so polite. We are of the same generation. There is no need for such etiquette." Although they are of the same generation, Cien Shaoqing is a little elder. Moreover, he is a fourth tribulation half-immortal. His words seemed to be mocking Cien Fengli and Cien Rujing. A petite woman walked down from a bright red carriage. It was Xia Yang. She stood in front of the carriage door and supported a woman in a bright red dress down. Clearly, the woman in the red dress was Cien Lingxue. Cien Shaoqing quickly walked over. A trace of a smile appeared on her ice-cold face. "Lingxue, you are finally willing to come out?" Cien Lingxue was indeed very beautiful. She was beautiful but not vulgar. Although she was seductive, there was a hint of gentleness to her. Her eyes and eyebrows were filled with spirituality and craftiness. One look, and anyone could tell that she was not a simple woman. Cien Rujing saw that Qin Yin is staring fixedly. She lightly groaned and said, "What are you looking at?" She was much weaker than Shui Ru. "You are truly a guy who likes the new and dislikes the old." "I am looking at her martial spirit," Qin Yin said in sound transmission. "Then can you see what kind of martial spirit it is?" Cien Rujing also asked in sound transmission. "Her martial spirit is very mysterious. She is not even an immortal, yet her martial spirit has evolved into an immortal martial spirit. This is also the reason why her position is so high." Qin Yin shook his head. He cannot see anything. Cien Lingxue came out of the carriage. Many young Cien family disciples came out of their carriages one after another and walked over to greet Cien Lingxue. Some of them even presented all kind of gifts as well as all kind of corny words of praise. On the other hand, Cien Rujing's side is very cold and cheerless. What caused Xian Rujing to be the most furious is that her big brother Xian Fengli is actually holding a chest full of gifts with a silly smile on his face. Qin Yin can already see that Xian Rujing's eyebrows are trembling in anger. He finds it very funny in his heart. He feels that Ice and Snow Goddess should not be fighting for this kind of limelight. Xiao Yun, nobody is giving gifts to Xian Rujing. It is normal for her to be jealous. Ling Yuner said with smile, even though many people are chasing after her, she has rejected them all. Moreover, because of her temperament, everyone keeps a respectful distance from her. Xian Lingxue is also a disciple of Xian family. Therefore, the reason why Xian family disciples are giving gifts and praises to her is not to chase after her, but to chase after her man. Now Qin Yin also understands why Xian Fengli urged Xian Rujing to find a man with high position. This way, she can also enjoy this kind of pursuit. Xian Lingxue is indeed very good at conducting herself. Her voice is delicate and sweet to the point that it can cause people to go limp. When people praise her, she also immediately thanks them. Xian Lingxue saw Xian Rujing standing there and walked over with smile. Her face is filled with amiable and enchanting smile and said, "Little sister Rujing, long time no see. You have become even more beautiful." "What kind of words are these, big sister Lingxue? I'm not beautiful in front of you." Xian Rujing squeezed out a trace of smile and said, "Little sister Rujing, you are not young anymore. You should find a man. It is very hard to be single like this." Xian Lingxue pulled Xian Rujing's lily-white hand and said with a light smile. She used her charming phoenix eyes to lightly glance at Qin Yun. It is as if she is throwing flirtatious glances, causing Qin Yun's mind to sway. What a seductress! Qin Yun cursed in his heart. Maid Xia Yang said with sneer, "Big sister Lingxue, didn't big sister Rujing find man now? He is right behind her. He is also not bad-looking." Everyone followed Xian Lingxue and saw Qin Yun. Xian Rujing found a manservant. Moreover, he is not castrated. The whole immortal mansion knows about this matter. This caused people's imagination to run wild. But thinking about Xian Rujing's special constitution, they know that she will not act recklessly. After all, she only has one chance to let a man have duo spirit 8 sun immortal veins. Once lost, it will be gone forever. Xian Lingxue sweetly smiled. Her charming smile is like a silver bell. She looked at Qin Yun and said, "What a handsome man. If I did not have a husband, I would definitely fight over him with little sister Rujing. I have to say, little sister Rujing's taste is very high. She even found such a handsome and extraordinary manservant." Qin Yun was very prejudiced against Xian Lingxue before because of Xia Yang. But now that he saw Xian Lingxue and heard her charming and pleasant voice, as well as her words of praise, he immediately praised Xian Lingxue 100 times his heart. He now understands why Xian Rujing is worried that he will be seduced by Xian Lingxue. Big sister is too polite. He is just a manservant. How can he compare to your husband? He is an immortal at such a young age. Xian Rujing said with smile. "Lingxue, I heard from Yang that Rujing's manservant is very rude." Little elder Xian Shaoqing said with smile. Others heard this and became filled with righteous indignation. They all accused Qin Yun of being rude to Xia Yang. Qin Yun suddenly has the urge to pinch Xia Yang to death. It is clearly Xia Yang who is very arrogant. "Rujing, you must properly manage your manservant. Teach him some manners," Xian Shaoqing coldly warned. "Understood, little elder." Xian Rujing saw Xia Yahong's proud smile and became so angry that she wanted to slap her. Other people are now looking at Qin Yun with eyes filled with hostility. After all, Qin Yun offended Xian Lingxue's personal maid. They're trying to curry favor with Xia Yang so that they can understand Xian Lingxue's matter in the future. Xian Lingxue lightly frowned and said in low voice, "Xiao Hong, why didn't you tell me about this? Is little sister Rujing's manservant really that disrespectful to you? You must tell me the truth." Xia Yang immediately lowered her head and said in low voice, "Actually, it is not that serious. It is just that he did not invite me into his cave." Originally, Qin Yun did not want to speak, but now he cannot help but say, Madame Lingxue, because Monsieur Hong said my master's cave is inferior to a dog kennel. I did not invite her in. I have offended you greatly. I hope Madame Lingxue can forgive me. Everyone knows that Xian Rujing's residence is not very good, but Xia Yang is just a maid, and she is criticizing Xian Rujing, an immortal family disciple's residence. This is very wrong. In that case, it was not little sister's manservant who was rude. Rather, it was Xiao Hong who was rude first. Xian Lingshue's expression is filled with hidden bitterness as she looked at Xia Yang and lightly reprimanded. Still not apologizing to little sister. Madame Rujing, Xia Yang knows she was wrong. Forget it, forget it. This is just a trivial matter. Other families are nearby. Don't let them laugh at us. Xian Shaoqing waved her hand. We are going to compete with them today. Save your energy and fight them. Xian Lingxue said with light smile. This time we are in control of immortal king Fu Yun's puppet. It is reasonable to say that this is the most useful clue so far. I don't know what they have found. Xian Shaoqing said in cold voice. Xian Yuan family released news that they found immortal king Fu Yun's pants. I don't know if it is useful or not. This caused all the immortal family disciples to roar in laughter. Chapter 1199. Chapter 1199. Exchange clues. Suddenly many large carriages arrived on the prairie. They're all people from other families. Seeing those carriages arrive, Xian Shaoqing hastily walked over with Xian Lingxue. Xian Shaoqing and Xian Lingxue can be said to be the most outstanding young generation geniuses of Xian family. They are also the face of Xian family, so they have to walk at the forefront and compete with the geniuses of other families. And Xian Rujing has been left behind in the cold. Qin Yun said with smile. Rujing, that immortal spirit Shui woman is very good. She is very polite to me and you. Xian Rujing ferociously glared at him and replied, What? She only politely said some good things about you, and now her soul has been hooked? How is Shuiru not better than her? You already have Shuiru, yet you still fancy Xian Lingxue? Moreover, Xian Lingxue already has a man. Qin Yun can sense the jealousy in Xian Rujing's heart. He suddenly realized why Xian Rujing's competitive spirit is so strong. After all, she used to be ice and snow goddess. Now she is being outdone by a mortal woman. She is very unwilling in her heart. There are not many people from other families participating in this exchange. Immortal family side has more than 10 large carriages and more than 200 people. And Ji family, Jiang family, and Xian Yuan family have 30 large carriages and more than 100 people. After other three families' young geniuses got off their carriages, they saw Xian Lingxue and Xian Shaoqing and walked over with face full of smile. On their way over, they greeted Xian Lingxue from far away. Even other three families' young geniuses are giving face to Xian Lingxue. It can be seen how high the position of the man behind her is. This immediately caused many young women to feel very envious. Xian Rujing lightly groaned. Clearly she is very jealous. Other three families' young geniuses arrived and gave Xian Lingxue a lot of gifts. Xian Lingxue tenderly and delicately thanked them and accepted the gifts with smile. There is nothing to be envious about. They are just some ordinary gifts. Xian Rujing curled her lips and said, Really, Qin Yun is indeed envious of Xian Lingxue. After all, she received many beautiful and exquisite gifts. They're just beautifully packaged. The things inside are very ordinary. Did you not see? Those people only handed over the boxes. They did not say what the gifts inside are. They were just trying to get familiar with Xian Lingxue. If it was a precious gift, they would have loudly announced it and let everyone know. Xian Rujing said with sneer, Why didn't anyone send expensive gifts? Qin Yun asked curiously, If I give it now, won't I leave a good impression on Xian Lingxue? I don't dare to, and there's no need for me to. Xian Lingshue's man was very strong. If a man gave her an expensive gift, what would she think? Then again, even if they send expensive gifts, they will not be able to woo Xian Lingxue. The man behind her can kill them with a single word. Xian Rujing said, The young elites of these four clans must have been secretly saying bad things about each other just now. But now that they saw each other, it was as if they were old friends. Their faces were full of smiles, and they flattered each other. It was extremely hypocritical. Of course, this was an exchange meeting. The main purpose was to exchange information about the immortal supreme treasures. Xian Shaoqing also started the conversation and shouted, "Everyone, we all have important matters to attend to today, so let's not waste any more time." After saying that, he took out a puppet. The puppet's entire body is pitch black. Its head has been distorted from being beaten. It is impossible to see what it looks like. Xian Rujing also promptly brought Qin Yun over. "These are the puppets we took down. Don't look at how it is lying down now. It was very powerful before. A few of our first tribulation half-immortals were injured by it," Xian Shaoqing said, then turned the puppet over and said again, "Look at the imprint on its back. There is a square imprint on the back of the puppet. It can be clearly seen that there are 4 characters Immortal King Fu Yun on the imprint. The most wonderful thing is that these 4 characters and the other runes on the imprint can perfectly fuse together and form a set of runes. In other words, these 4 words Immortal King Floating Cloud are very mysterious runes in itself. Of course, these are only clear runes. There are also many small dark runes that cannot be seen." Qin Yun is standing on his tiptoes. After seeing the imprint, he is extremely shocked in his heart. Then he looked even more carefully, and suddenly he felt a burst of dizziness, causing him to almost fall down. Xian Rujing reacted very quickly. She hastily went up and supported Qin Yun. She doesn't know what is going on with Qin Yun. Qin Yun only felt a burst of pain in his head. He cursed his past life's floating cloud heavenly seal in his heart. The imprint it left behind is actually so dreadful. There are at least 2 kinds of very complex heavenly runes inside this imprint. How can my floating cloud heavenly seal be so dreadful? Qin Yun is extremely shocked in his heart. Floating cloud heavenly seals might is far beyond his expectation. The reason why he is having a headache is because the imprint has special runes that can prevent other people from prying into it. Xian Lingshue's graceful and gentle, beautiful voice arrived. From this floating cloud imprint, it can be determined that this is a puppet refined by Immortal King Fu Yun. If it is an inscription master, don't look at it carefully. You will suffer backlash from the runes inside the imprint. If it is light, you will faint from headache. If it is heavy, your soul will be injured. This caused many people to cry out in alarm. Nobody dares to try. Naturally, there are not many inscription masters present here. After all, they are all young heroes. And now Xian Rujing also knows why Qin Yun almost fell down. It is because he carefully looked at the imprint. This Xian Lingxue, why didn't you tell me earlier? Xian Rujing blamed Xian Lingxue in her heart. I am fine. Qin Yun's mind and soul are very strong. He can recover in a short while. So he sent sound transmission to Xian Rujing. A man from the Ji family said, "Where did you meet this puppet? We cannot tell you for now. Take out your findings and slowly discuss it with everyone." Xian Shaoqing said. The Ji family man took out a very old round beast skin. It is more than 2 meters wide and placed it on the lawn. "What is this?" Xian Lingxue very earnestly looked at it, but she cannot see anything. The Ji family man proudly smiled. "Then I will test everyone. Let's see who can guess it. If anyone can guess what it is, I will give you a bottle of immortal bee jade nectar. If I am wrong, you will give me a bottle. How about it?" "All right." Xian Shaoqing immediately agreed, but she did not try to guess what it is. Xian Lingxue also slightly shook her head. Clearly she does not know what it is. Qin Yun is standing at the back. He doesn't dare to squeeze in to take a look. He can only tiptoe. In order to get that bottle of immortal bee jade nectar, Xian Rujing pulled Qin Yun's clothes and squeezed in. Nobody dares to say that she is an ice mother tigress. "Little sister, do you know what it is?" Xian Lingxue said with smile. "If you know, you will get a bottle of immortal bee jade nectar," Xia Yang said in low voice. Even big sister Lingxue doesn't know. How can she know? There are many young heroes present. They know Xian Rujing very well. They all know that she is very young. If they don't know, then Xian Rujing definitely won't know. Qin Yun is just standing behind Xian Rujing. He is indifferently looking at the yellow bee skin spread out on the ground. Looking at his appearance, it seems like he is not interested in the bee skin, but he is actually earnestly looking at it. Qin Yun thought that Xian Rujing would immediately know what it is. After all, she has ice goddess memories. But Xian Rujing is hesitating to say what it is. She is still pretending to be very careful. Xian Rujing is waiting for Qin Yun to tell her what that thing is so that she can be in the limelight. Qin Yun, what is it? Tell me. If I get the immortal bee jade nectar, I will give you half. Xian Rujing sent sound transmission to Qin Yun. I want 80%. Qin Yun said with smile. I know what it is, 80%. 80%. Quickly tell me. Xian Rujing is very excited in her heart. She knew that bringing Qin Yun here was the right choice. Qin Yun sent sound transmission to Xian Rujing. It is a beast skin formation. It can gather a great amount of immortal energy and condense them into crystals. That yellow bee skin is completely blank. There is nothing drawn on it, so everyone thinks that it is not a bee skin formation. Are you sure? Everyone suspects it is a bee skin formation, but no one said anything. If it is a bee skin formation, there should be runes on its surface. Xian Rujing doubtfully sent sound transmission to Qin Yun. Just answer. Qin Yun's mental power can penetrate the inside of the bee's skin. He can clearly sense the runes inside. Everyone is looking at Xian Rujing, waiting for her answer. This is a beast skin formation. Xian Rujing braced herself and said. Everyone immediately burst into laughter. Rujing, how can this be a beast skin formation? Xian Shaoqing shook her head and said with smile, You lost. Give the immortal bee jade nectar to Ji Jinxiao. While everyone is laughing, they saw that Ji Jinxiao is not laughing. Instead, her expression is somewhat unsightly. Seeing Ji Jinxiao's expression, everyone realized that it is indeed a beast skin formation. However, how can a beast skin formation not have runes? Ji Jinxiao said with smile, Xian Rujing, this beast skin formation is clearly a beast skin formation. Everyone can see this, but no one said it is beast skin formation because they don't know its specific usage. You have to tell us the usage of this beast skin formation. Only then you win. Xian Rujing wants to beat someone up hearing this. This Ji Jinxiao is actually so shameless. Everyone also secretly despised Ji Jinxiao. They indeed suspected that this is a bee skin formation, but because there are no runes on its surface, they felt that it is not that simple. But the result is very simple. This is indeed a beast skin formation. Xian Shaoqing said again. Rujing, forget about it. You don't even know what kind of bee skin formation it is. Other immortal family disciples also repeatedly nodded their heads. Of course I know. Xian Rujing coldly glared at Xian Shaoqing and said, This beast skin formation can gather immortal energy and condense immortal energy into crystals. This is an immortal formation, but there are many places that are damaged, so it cannot be operated. Ji Jinxiao's expression is very unsightly because Xian Rujing is right. Xian Rujing took out an immortal sword and said in cold voice, You are a man. You should act like a man and do what you say. Otherwise, I will castrate you. Oomph. I will give it to you. Ji Jinxiao took out a bottle of immortal bee jade nectar and threw it to Xian Rujing. After Xian Rujing checked and confirmed that there is no problem, she proudly looked at Xian Shaoqing. Xian Lingxue said with smile, Little sister, I really did not expect you to know so much. Everyone present did not expect Xian Rujing to be so knowledgeable about inscription. We found this celestial array in a mountain. Our clan's inscription master studied it. There are indeed many places that are damaged and cannot be repaired. But we speculate that this beast skin immortal formation was created by immortal King Fu Yun. We will tell everyone the location where we found the beast skin immortal formation. Ji Jinxiao finished speaking and looked at Xian Yuan family and Jiang family. Xian Lingxue said with light smile, Now is Xian Yuan family's turn to show us the immortal king pants. Chapter 1200. Chapter 1200. Mysterious immortal Robshian Yuan family people immediately became unhappy because everyone here is looking at them as a joke. From their expression, it can be seen that the pants they picked up is indeed not presentable. Immortal Family's puppet has Immortal King Fu Yun's imprint on it. G Family's item is a very powerful immortal formation. Even though it is damaged, it can be seen that it is Immortal King Fu Yun's item. And Xian Yuan Family's pants looks somewhat forced no matter how you look at it. Xian Yuan Family's leader is a fat youth. He coldly groaned and said, "Don't make fun of our Xian Yuan family. That pair of trousers isn't anything precious, but it's a very useful clue." Xian Yuan Ping, "Don't dilly-dally. Quickly take out the pants." Ji Xiao urged. Xian Yuan Ping took out a box, opened it, and saw the black pants. The material of the pants is very good. "What kind of clue do you have, tell me?" Ji Xiao walked over and carefully looked at it, but she cannot see anything. Xian Shaoqing and Xian Lingxue, as well as other young geniuses with higher status, walked over and looked at the pants. Xian Yuan Ping suddenly proudly smiled and said, "Ji Xiao, if you can tell me what kind of clue this pants has, I will give you a bottle of Immortal Beat Jade Honey. If I can't tell you anything, you will give me a bottle?" "Umph." Ji Xiao looked at the pants and said in low voice, "What is so special about these pants? Why can't I see anything?" Xian Shaoqing and Xian Lingxue are also grabbing the pants and looking very earnestly. A Jiang family youth moved his nose close to the pants and sniffed. A few young geniuses of the various families are pulling down the pants. They're earnestly studying the pants. It looks very funny. Xian Rujing poked Qin Yun's waist and asked through sound transmission, "What do you see?" "I see. There is something very special about these pants." Qin Yun replied, "What special thing? Quickly tell me." Xian Rujing hastily asked, "You can't see? These pants fit me very well. It is as if they were made for me. They fit my figure very well." Qin Yun replied with a smile. Xian Rujing secretly pinched Qin Yun, blaming him for teasing her. Xian Yuan Ping chuckled and said, "You can't find any clues, can you?" Ji Xiao snorted, "I can see it. This was an immortal grade treasure robe. This is the clue." "You're wrong. This is not an immortal grade treasure robe." "Haha, give me a bottle of Immortal Bee Jade Nectar." Xian Yuan Ping laughed excitedly. "Then tell me, what kind of clues are there for this pair of pants?" Ji Jin laughed in a very bad mood. It was extremely likely that he would lose another bottle of Immortal Beat Jade Honey. "I won't say it first. I'll see if anyone comes over to guess." Xian Yuan Ping looked at everyone and shouted, "Everyone come over and take a look. If you guess correctly, you could get a bottle of Immortal Bee Jade Honey." "Greedy fatty." Xian Rujing lightly groaned. Xian Rujing brought Qin Yun over and touched the black pants. Qin Yun used his hand to touch it. He is certain that there are no runes on the inside of the pants, but the material used is very special. It feels ice cold to the touch. He pulled a little harder, but it was still very difficult to tear it apart. Then he used Extinction Spirit Eye to look and discovered that there are two golden light emitting stripes on the thighs of the pants. Only by using Extinction Spirit Eye can he see it. He carefully looked and discovered that it is the mark of Floating Cloud Heavenly Seal. It is very small, only the size of a finger. It is certain that Floating Cloud Heavenly Seal can become big or small. Qin Yun did not look carefully, otherwise he would get dizzy. He promptly sent sound transmission to Xian Rujing. There are two marks of Floating Cloud Heavenly Seal on the legs of the pants. Xian Rujing now trusts Qin Yun very much. After receiving Qin Yun's sound transmission, she promptly said, "I found something." Xian Shaoqing immediately frowned and asked, "Rujing, when did you become so meticulous? We didn't find anything yet you found something?" "Brother, little sister recognized the bee skin formation just now. She also knows its usage. It is very normal for her to find a clue on the pants." Xian Lingxue rebuked Xian Shaoqing with a glance. It can be seen that Xian Lingxue is more inclined towards Xian Rujing. Xian Yuan Ping said with a smile, "You can see through the bee skin formation, but that doesn't mean you can see through my pants." Qin Yun promptly sent sound transmission to Xian Rujing, telling her to find a way to get her hands on these pants, because he really wants them. Fatty Xin Yuan, how about this? I will stake my immortal sword if I guess wrong. I will give you the immortal sword. If I guess right, you give me the pants and a bottle of immortal bee jade nectar. How about it? Xian Rujing's expression is filled with confidence. She raised her eyebrows and said with sneer, "Do you dare to gamble?" Xin Yuan Ping saw that Xian Rujing has a card up her sleeve and became somewhat apprehensive. But he thought that Xian Rujing has not been looking for long. She will not be able to discover anything. It must be known that his Xin Yuan family's elders researched for a very long time before discovering this. All right, Xin Yuan Ping nodded. Xian Fengli promptly walked over and said to Xian Rujing in low voice, "That is an immortal sword. If you don't have it, your strength will be even weaker. Don't act recklessly." "Indeed, little sister, your immortal sword is a bit better than my immortal sword. If you lose, it will be a great pity." Xian Lingxue pulled Xian Rujing's lily-white hand and advised in low voice, "You could be lucky once, you won't be lucky twice." Xia Yang lightly groaned and said, "Big sister Lingxu doesn't want to see you fail, so she is advising you with good intentions." It must be known that Xian Rujing is very fond of gambling. Everyone here knows this. She gambled with Qin Yun several times before. "Don't speak anymore, I will win," Xian Rujing said in cold voice. "Xian Rujing, you lost many times in Immortal Desolate, but you never reneged on your debt. Your gambling character is quite reputable," Xin Yuan Ping said with smile. "Now tell me about the clue of these pants." Xian Rujing said, "I can sense that there are 2 floating cloud heavenly seal marks on the thighs of these pants." Xin Yuan Ping was all smiles just now, but hearing Xian Rujing's words, his expression immediately froze. "Ha ha ha! I was right? Xian Rujing burst into loud laughter. She firmly held her immortal sword and yelled, "Since you are willing to gamble, you must be willing to lose. Give me the pants and immortal bee jade nectar." Xin Yuan Ping hastily snatched back the pants. Apparently, he doesn't want to give them to Xian Rujing. He looked at Ji Jinxiao and yelled, "Ji Jinxiao, you guessed wrong. You should give me a bottle of immortal bee jade nectar. Now give it to Xian Rujing." Ji Jinxiao loudly cursed in his heart. He can only take out a bottle of immortal bee jade nectar and give it to Xian Rujing. The 2 bottles of immortal bee jade nectar he lost today are now in Xian Rujing's hands. "Fatty Xin Yuan, give me the pants." Xian Rujing pointed her sword at Xin Yuan Ping and yelled, "Xian Rujing, these pants are rather big. They are worn by men. They are not suitable for you. What use do you have for them?" Xin Yuan Ping said with smile, "Tell me how to use them, and I will give them to you. I guarantee you, these pants are very suitable for my manservant. I want to give them to him." Xian Rujing looked at Qin Yun and said, "Everyone is not unfamiliar with the matter of Xian Rujing having a manservant." Xin Yuan Ping looked at Qin Yun, then compared the pants to Qin Yun and said with smile, "It seems like they are very suitable for him. I will give them to you." The pants with Fu Yun Heavenly Seal was given to Qin Yun, just like that. Xin Yuan Ping said again, "Wait a moment, I will tell you where I got them." Qin Yun took the pants and is very happy in his heart, because these pants are definitely not simple. They're also very fitting. After all, they were worn by him in his past life. Even though they are pants, they are indeed immortal King Fu Yun's things. They will be very helpful to us when we are looking for immortal supreme treasure. Xian Shaoqing looked at Qin Yun. He also wants to study the pants, but now that they belong to Xian Rujing, it is not good for him to ask for them. Xin Yuan Ping said to Xian Rujing with smile, "I have a set of clothes here. Do you want it? Moreover, it is a set. If you love your manservant so much, you should buy him a set." Everyone immediately laughed. After all, Qin Yun is very handsome, and Xian Rujing loves him so much, they can't help but let their imaginations run wild. "How much?" Xian Rujing asked. "A bottle of immortal bee jade nectar." Xin Yuan Ping said, "Half a bottle." Xian Rujing did not ask whether Qin Yun wants it or not. She just wants to buy him a set. "Half a bottle it is." Xin Yuan Ping chuckled. took out a set of black clothes and threw it to Qin. Xian Rujing took out a bottle of immortal bee jade nectar and poured half of it to Xin Yuanping. This caused Ji Jinxiao to feel very uncomfortable looking at it. That is his immortal bee jade nectar. Everyone present found this somewhat unexpected. Half a bottle of immortal bee jade nectar is very precious. Yet Xian Rujing is willing to use half a bottle to buy clothes for her servant. I will say this in advance. The clothes do not have Fuyun Heavenly Seal on them, but they are definitely a set with the pants. Xin Yuanping said. Xian Fengli said to Qin Yun, "Still not thanking your master? Do you still need to teach me this kind of thing?" "Many thanks, master." Qin Yun can only put on an act. "Quickly wear it and see if it is really fitting." Xian Shaoqing said, "This is immortal King Fuyun's clothes after wearing it. Maybe it will have some other effect." Xin Yuanping also urged with smile, "It looks really fitting. Quickly wear it." Xian Rujing suddenly feels that something is fishy. She promptly yelled, "Qin Yun, don't wear it." Xian Lingxue said in low voice, "Fuyun Heavenly Seal's mark can cause people to feel dizzy. It is better to be cautious." "It's all right. Quickly wear it. At most, a manservant will die." Someone shouted with a smile. Qin Yun is not afraid. He ignored Xian Rujing's advice and ran to Xian Rujing's carriage and changed into the black clothes. After wearing it, he did not feel any reaction. Originally, he was looking forward to it. Qin Yun walked out of the carriage and returned to Xian Rujing's side. "Are you all right?" Xian Rujing anxiously asked. "I'm fine." Qin Yun shook his head. Xin Yuanping feels that it is somewhat strange and said, "This is impossible. One of our people who wore it lost feeling in his legs and almost died." Xian Rujing ferociously glared at Xin Yuanping and furiously said, "Why didn't you say so earlier? Just a servant." Xin Yuanping said with smile. The fat on his face trembled. "Do you really care so much about this little manservant? Is there something going on between you two? If you talk nonsense again, I will chop you into pieces." Xian Rujing coldly and furiously shouted. Qin Yun said in low voice, "This is a treasure. We need to drip blood to recognize it as master." Chapter 1201. 9. Nether Boundary Steel. Chapter 1201. Qin Yun forced out blood from his finger and dripped it on his clothes and pants. Many people are staring at him. They want to see if there is any reaction or not. Xin Yuanping laughed loudly and said, "We already dripped blood. There is no reaction at all." Just as he finished speaking, the black clothes on Qin Yun's body suddenly changed color. In a split second it became white and released a burst of white light. This caused everyone to cry out in alarm. Xin Yuanping's smiling fat face suddenly became uglier than crying. This set of clothes is truly a treasure. After everyone reacted, they began discussing in amazement. Xian Rujing said with smile, "This is truly a good thing. We have profited greatly." Qin Yun's white clothes look brand new. It looks very luxurious. Although there are no runes on the surface, one can see that it is very good. However, it is not clear what grade it is. Xian Shaoqing's eyes are incomparably red looking at it. After all, this is immortal King Fuyun's thing. It must not be bad. "Rujing, quickly take it off and hand it over to us for research." Xian Shaoqing yelled. "I earned it. Why should I hand it over?" Xian Rujing coldly groaned and said, "I said I will give it to him. Whoever tries to snatch it, I will kill them." Xian Rujing promptly stood beside Qin Yun. Xian Lingxue said with unhurried smile, "This is something little sister bestowed to her servant. Moreover, she obtained it with her own ability. We should not interfere." Xian Fengli yelled in low voice, "Rujing, don't cause trouble. Quickly make him take it off." "Big brother, don't say any more. I gave it to him. No one should even think about taking it." Xian Rujing yelled in cold voice. Her expression is filled with anger. "Two big brothers, don't force Rujing. If it were me, I would also not hand it over. This little brother is Rujing's servant. We can find him to research at any time. Rujing can accompany him at his side when the time comes." Xian Lingxue also promptly dissuaded. Now the one who is burning with anger is Xin Yuanping. This is immortal King Fuyun's treasure robe. We don't even know what grade it is. Yet, he sold it for half a bottle of immortal bee jade honey. If the Xian Yuan family's elders knew about this, they would definitely scold him. Xian Yuan Ping, I said before that this is a treasure robe. I was right. I should be the winner. Quickly return the immortal bee jade nectar to me and give me a bottle of immortal bee jade nectar. Ji Zhen Xiao pulled out her sword, pointed it at Xian Yuan Ping, and shouted, Ji Zhen Xiao, I'm asking you to tell me the clues, not to guess what it is. Xian Rujing pointed out the clue. That's why we guessed correctly. Xian Yuan Ping's words are very clear and logical. Ji Zhen Xiao is unable to refute for a moment. It was impossible for Xian Yuan Ping to return the immortal bee jade honey, because he had only obtained half a bottle. Moreover, it was exchanged for a piece of clothing. Qin Yin was wearing that set of clothes. For the time being, he did not discover anything. The main reason was that he did not dare to mess around, lest he caused a huge commotion. This pair of master and servant is really lucky, someone said enviously. That's not it. Xian Rujing must have some skill, otherwise she would not be able to get it right twice. Moreover, she did her utmost to obtain that set of clothes. This woman's vision is truly sinister. Someone exclaimed in admiration. Xian Rujing has 8 immortal veins. How could she be a rookie? Someone shook his head and said with a smile, but I have to say, she is truly concealing her strength. Xian Shaoqing doesn't want to continue tangling with this trivial matter. She looked at Jiang family people and yelled, Jiang Zhilong, it is your Jiang family's turn. Jiang Zhilong is wearing a waistcoat, exposing the muscles of his arms and abdomen. Although he is not handsome, there's always a faint smile hanging on his face. His eyes are flickering with green light, giving people a kind of unfathomable feeling. He took out a rolled-up bee skin with smile and said with smile, This is half a map. It is a top-secret map. I cannot show it to you, but I can sell it to you for 20,000 immortal jade beads. Why don't you go rob? I only get 2,000 immortal jade beads every month. It is not even enough for me to use. Xian Shaoqing yelled, We are providing clues for free, yet you want to take immortal jade beads. Don't you have any face? Jiang Zhilong is still smiling and said, All right, I don't want your clues. I will leave now. You can buy it or not. Our Jiang family is willing to sell this map. It is equivalent to sharing the clues with you. Ji Zhen Xiao promptly yelled, Our Ji family will buy it. He pulled along a few wealthy young elites of Ji family and asked for a bid each. Xian Shaoqing gritted her teeth and began discussing with Xian Fengli and others. Now I need 20,000 immortal jade beads. How many of you are willing to pay? Xian Shaoqing asked. I only have 300 a month, 3,000 a year. It is not enough. I don't have a single one. Xian Rujing coldly groaned and said, It doesn't matter if you don't pay, but you cannot look at the map. Xian Shaoqing said, Fine, I won't look. Xian Rujing stamped her foot. She indeed doesn't have a single immortal jade bead. I will pay 1,000. Xian Lingxue seems like she has made a very difficult decision. Qin Yun asked Yao Fong and found out that immortal jade beads are used by immortals to cultivate. Only inscription pill masters can refine them. They look like white jade beads. They're the size of a thumb and are used as currency in Immortal Desolate. They are very useful. Yao Fong doesn't know how to refine them. There are not many people who can refine immortal jade beads. Only inscription pill masters of great factions know how to refine them. Every family has collected 20,000 immortal jade beads. Jiang Zhilong said with smile, Now, first tell me how you obtained those things. After the discussion is over, I will sell the map to you. Everyone secretly cursed Jiang Zhilong, this crafty fox. Xian Shaoqing said, We found these puppets near the 9 nether boundary steel. We guess that they came out from a 9 nether realm, or somewhere near the 9 nether boundary steel. Ji Zhenxiao said with some amazement, Our immortal formation was found in a nearby mountain. It is not inside the 9 nether realm, but is not very far from the 9 nether boundary steel. From the top of that mountain, we can directly see the 9 nether boundary steel. Xin Yuan Ping's expression is filled with heartache as he looked at Qin Yun and said, That set of clothes was found in the 9 nether yellow river. Everyone should know that the Nine Nether Yellow River flows out of the Nine Nether realm. After gathering all the information, everyone can roughly conclude that immortal King Fu Yun must have hidden those things near the Nine Nether realm or inside the Nine Nether realm. At this time, everyone looked at Jiang Zhilong. Jiang Zhilong quickly printed 3 copies of the map and handed them over to Xianyuan Ping, Ji Zhenxiao, and Xian Shaoqing. Xian Shaoqing did not open it because half of her Xian family people have not taken out immortal jade beads. Xianyuan Ping did open it, but only the people on his side saw it. Qin Yun used Extinction Spirit Eye to look at Xianyuan Ping's map. Although he can only see the back, after using Extinction Spirit Eye, he can see the front. As long as he looks at it, he can record it in his mind. Jiang Zhilong sighed and said, "We found this map inside the body of a very strong Nether Realm Fierce Beast. That Nether Realm Fierce Beast is very ancient. It is a very large black-shelled turtle. That old turtle is very powerful. Its body was seriously injured by us and lost a lot of blood, but it still managed to run away. That half of the map sprayed out along with the blood. That is how we obtained the map." Xian Rujing is very curious. She very much wants to see the contents of the map. From this half of the map, it can be seen that this place is connected to the Nine Nether Realm. Now we can confirm that the treasure is hidden inside the Nine Nether Realm. Ji Zhenxiao and others are looking at the map and discussing. There are 2 marked points on the map. Both are very dangerous. Our Jiang family has not gone there yet. How about we all go together? Jiang Zhilong said with a smile. "Let the elders go," Xian Shaoqing said. Xianyuan Ping nodded and said, "Our strength is limited. The elders are 5th or 6th tribulation half-immortals. Moreover, their equipment is very good. Even if we encounter danger, they can deal with it. If we go, we will only be throwing away our lives." Ji Zhenxiao stored away the map, looked at everyone, and said with a smile, "Everyone, the exchange of clues is almost over. Then shouldn't we have a competition to earn some immortal jade bead or immortal bee jade honey? All right, we will obtain it with our own ability. But what should we compete on?" Xian Shaoqing immediately agreed. Just now he spent some immortal jade bead. He wants to earn some back. The exchange of clues is over. Now it should be cultivation exchange, comparing notes on martial skills or something. This is very good. Jiang Zhilong said with a smile. "Let's compete. Our Xianyuan family is not afraid of you." Xianyuan Ping said with a smile. The young leaders of these 4 families all agreed to compete and take this opportunity to win some things back. Since some people will win, some people will lose. However, they do not believe that they will be the ones to lose. Compete on what? How to compete? Everyone was in a heated discussion. Jiang Zhilong said with a smile, "How about this? We will first have the servants of each family come out and fight. It will create a good atmosphere. This way we won't be harmed. My Jiang family will go first." He looked at a robust man behind him and yelled, "Big Kuei Tiger, go up and stretch your muscles." The burly man walked out. As he walked, he left deep and large footprints on the grass. "Who will fight with my family's Big Kuei Tiger? This bet is 20,000 immortal jade beads." Jiang Zhilong very confidently said, "You can only send out servants. You must show your servant token." No one said anything, because everyone knows that Big Kuei Tiger is very formidable. He is a first tribulation half-immortal. Even ordinary disciples of famous sects would find it difficult to defeat Big Kuei Tiger unarmed. Xian Rujing is very happy in her heart because the opportunity has come. Qin Yun is a very formidable first tribulation half-immortal. He can surely defeat Big Kuei Tiger. Our Xian family will not go up. Xian Shaoqing said, "Few of their Xian family servants can fight. Xian Yuan family and Ji family are also not going up. It is clear that they will lose." Xian Rujing promptly pushed Qin Yun away and yelled, "I will represent myself to bet with you." "Oh, that's right. Should I take off my manservant's clothes?" Chapter 1202. Treasure Clothes Show Might. Chapter 1202. Battle apart from Xian Rujing. Only Xian Fengli knows that Qin Yun is a first tribulation half-immortal. Xian firmly feels that Qin Yun is not Big Kuei-hu's match, but he did not say anything. After all, in his eyes, Qin Yun is just a servant. If he dies, then he dies. Other people think that Qin Yun is at most a peak martial emperor. They think that Xian Rujing dared to let him go up because of that robe. After Qin Yun walked over, everyone dispersed one after another. There is no barrier here. If the battle becomes intense, it will affect them. Xian Lingxue is standing beside Xian Rujing. Her soft and beautiful jade-like face is filled with worry. She said to Xian Rujing in low voice, "Little sister, let go. Who doesn't know Big Kuei-hu's fame? He is a very powerful first tribulation half-immortal. Your little servant can't beat him. Sister, you can rest assured. If you can't beat him, you can just concede." Xian Rujing is not worried at all. She feels that even an ordinary second tribulation half-immortal is not necessarily Qin Yun's match. "Little sister, your little servant seems to be very good. If he is seriously injured or crippled, wouldn't he be very pitiful?" Xian Lingxue said again. "Sister, why are you so worried about him? How about I sell him to you?" Xian Rujing said with smile. Xia Yang said, "That is because big sister Lingxue is very kind. She can't bear to see you lose." Xian Shaoqing suddenly asked, "Do you have 20,000 immortal jade beads?" At this time, Jiang Zhilong also asked, "Xian Rujing, you should not have 20,000 immortal jade beads. If you lose, who will I ask for them? I can pawn my immortal sword." Xian Rujing took out her immortal sword. "Little sister, your low-quality immortal sword is worth several tens of thousands of immortal jade beads." Xian Lingxue is very worried for Xian Rujing. She said in low voice, "Pawn mine. My immortal sword is inferior to yours. If I lose, someone will give it to me." "Many thanks, big sister. I have my own. I don't need yours." Xian Rujing knows that Xian Lingxue is very good to her, but she is very proud and arrogant. She does not want to take advantage of Xian Lingxue. "Lingxue, don't worry about her. Let her lose." Xian Shaoqing actually hates Xian Rujing because Xian Rujing always goes against him. Earlier, he asked Xian Rujing for that set of clothes, but Xian Rujing yelled at him in front of his face, causing him to lose face. He was the little elder, the leader of the immortal clan's younger generation. To be shouted at so coldly by a woman was very embarrassing. Xian Rujing also knows the rules. She must be polite and courteous to people with higher status than her. However, her personality was like that. Just now, when she heard Xian Shaoqing ask her for clothes without any reason, she couldn't help but speak a little louder. It must be known that this is something Xian Rujing gifted to Qin Yun. She cannot let anyone take it away. Jiang Zhilong said with a smile, "Everyone, spread out. Once Big Kuei Tiger unleashes his power, he won't be able to control himself. Otherwise, everyone will be embarrassed." Everyone retreated 200 to 300 meters away and watched from a high vantage point. At this time, Xian Rujing sent sound transmission to Qin Yun from far away. "Qin Yun, you must act with propriety. Don't display too shocking power. Make people think that you won by relying on that set of clothes, understand?" Qin Yun also understands why Xian Rujing is instructing him like this. If he displays too much power, then it will not be good to continue swindling people. "Big Kuei Tiger, fight to your heart's content." Although opponent's cultivation is lower than yours, he has a very powerful set of clothes, so he is not weak at all. Jiang Zhilong said with smile. He is not really afraid of that set of clothes because he feels that even if Qin Yun has a powerful armor, he will still be abused by Big Kuei Tiger. Jiang Zhilong is after all a youngster. He wants to show off and let people know that he has a very strong servant. Being able to have a strong follower was a matter of great prestige. Xian Shaoqing, Xin Yuan Ping, and Ji Jinxiao do not dare to let their servants fight. It can be seen from this. Jiang Zhilong has a proud expression as he yelled, "Begin!" At the beginning, the tall and sturdy man with muscles all over his body roared like a fierce tiger. He took heavy and frightening steps and ferociously charged towards Qin Yun like a fierce tiger pouncing. Big Kuei Tiger's speed is not slow, but is also not fast. At least it is so in Qin Yun's eyes. Seeing Big Kuei Tiger's ferocious attack, Xian Lingxue slightly frowned and tightly held Xian Rujing's hand. She is worried that Qin Yun will be torn to shreds on the spot. Someone shouted in alarm. I heard Big Kuei Tiger has Thunder and Tiger dual martial spirits. Moreover, they are both purple-gold martial spirits. It seems like he can fuse the power of these two martial spirits very well. Is that little servant going to be torn to shreds? Not necessarily. That set of clothes is very strong. It won't be torn to shreds. Big Kuei Tiger very ferociously rushed over. Qin Yun is just standing there motionless. It looks like he is scared senseless, causing many people to sneer at him. Big Kuei Tiger suddenly let out a roar. His palms turned into tiger claws, wanting to pierce into Qin Yun's body and tear him to shreds. But in that very thrilling moment, Qin Yun dodged and arrived at Big Kuei Tiger's side. Big Kuei Tiger is dumbfounded. He really did not expect that such a small and weak-looking person would have such a mysterious movement technique. He can very strangely dodge his attack. Actually, Big Kuei Tiger's every movement looks like slow motion in Qin Yun's eyes. Back in Ancient Domain, Qin Yun defeated many dreadful half-immortals. Compared to them, Big Kuei Tiger is far inferior. Boom! After Big Kuei Tiger reacted, he heavily punched Qin Yun's chest with explosive thunder and lightning. Qin Yun slid on the lawn. It looks like he is plowing the ground, creating a ditch. Qin Yun is also throwing the match. If he shows off too much power, it will not be easy for others to fall into his trap. Originally, he wanted to use his body's power to block the punch, but he did not expect that the white clothes on his body can absorb all the power. Everyone burst into clamorous cries. Because Big Kuei Tiger's ferocious punch did not cause Qin Yun to vomit blood. From this, they can clearly see how awesome the clothes are. After Qin Yun crawled up, the clothes released a burst of white light. All the dirt on his body suddenly fell off, and his clothes became clean. Seeing how awesome the clothes are, Xinyuan Ping has the urge to vomit blood. This set of clothes originally belonged to his Xinyuan family, but now it was given to Xian Rujing at a very low price. It can block Big Kuei Tiger's punch. It is truly awesome. Xian Lingxue lightly breathed a sigh of relief, then said with sweet smile, Little sister, you saw that the clothes are very awesome. That's why you let that little manservant go up, right? You scare me to death. That's why I told you not to worry. Xian Rujing very happily said with smile. Xian Shaoqing is very jealous because he feels that the clothes should have been given to him. Big Kuei Tiger, what are you doing? Quickly use your fist to explode him. Jiang Zhilong is secretly regretting letting Qin Yun wear those clothes. He understands Big Kuei Tiger the most, seeing that Qin Yun did not vomit blood. He knows that the clothes are very awesome. Big Kuei Tiger loudly roared and rushed towards Qin Yun and unleashed a flurry of punches. The messy and disorderly fists quickly attacked and shot out purple-gold thunder and lightning tiger heads. They brought along fist wind and roared unceasingly as they enveloped Qin Yun's body. Everyone is watching from the distance. They can see that a large mud hole has appeared on the grassland. The mud splashed out like water splashing in all directions. Qin Yun is like a little chick. He is being violently beaten by Big Kuei Tiger and is unable to retaliate. Everyone is exclaiming in admiration while watching. Because Qin Yun is being punched so many times, he is not even letting out a cry. It is clear that Big Kuei Tiger's fists are not hurting him at all. Xia Yang lightly groaned and said, What a lucky guy. He got such a good set of clothes and armor. Xian Shaoqing firmly clenched her fists and coldly said, This should have been handed over, not given to a servant to use. It is a reckless waste of heaven's gift. The one who is suffering the most is Xinyuan Ping. His heart is dripping blood and tears. He lost such a powerful set of clothes and armor. After returning, he will surely be punished. Then there is Jiang Zhilong. He faintly feels that his boat is about to capsize. Big Kuei Tiger, hold on. Although that guy's armor is very strong, it also consumes a lot of power. As long as you can exhaust his power, you will definitely win. Jiang Zhilong yelled. After all, Big Kuei Tiger is only a servant. He can become a first tribulation half immortal purely because of luck. Just now, he randomly attacked and consumed more than half of his power. And Qin Yun did not consume anything. Everyone can see that Big Kuei Tiger's speed has become a lot slower. The power of his punches has also become very weak. Qin Yun feels that it is about time. He suddenly flashed behind Big Kuei Tiger and vigorously attacked Big Kuei Tiger's back of his palm. He used his formidable physical power to attack Big Kuei Tiger and made him vomit blood. Then he secretly poured vibration power into Big Kuei Tiger. Big Kuei Tiger let out a loud roar and lied down on ground. From start to finish, Qin Yun did not leak much of his aura to prevent people from recognizing that he is a first tribulation half immortal. Although Big Kuei Tiger is a half immortal, his martial skills and cultivation methods are very backward. Not to mention Big Kuei Tiger, even second tribulation half immortals of famous sects might not necessarily be able to defeat Qin Yun. After Big Kuei Tiger was hit by Qin Yun's palm, he lied down on the ground and screamed. He cannot get up at all. It can be seen that his backbones have all been broken. Seeing Qin Yun win, everyone once again exclaimed in admiration at the ferocity of that armor. Many people are also making fun of Xian Yuan Ping. He actually threw away such a good armor. Xian Yuan Ping also feels that he is a big idiot. He really wants to find a hole to bury himself in and then bitterly cry and scream. Xian Rujing proudly said, Big Kuei Tiger should not be able to fight anymore, right? Jiang Zhilong is very regretful. If he did not let Qin Yun wear that armor, he would not have lost. Treacherous woman, you win. Jiang Zhilong groaned and took out a storage bag. There are 20,000 immortal jade beads inside. Xian Rujing arrived beside Qin Yun, took the storage bag from Jiang Zhilong, and said with mocking smile, Many thanks, big brother Jiang. Seeing Xian Rujing easily win 20,000 immortal jade beads, many Xian family people are very jealous, especially little elder Xian Shaoqing. Xian Rujing, do you still dare to continue? Let your little manservant fight against our Jiang family's half-immortal. Moreover, he can use weapons and equipment. Jiang Zhilong is very unwilling in his heart. He wants to win back. Chapter 1203. Snow Brilliance Battle Saber Xian Shaoqing said with sneer. Xian Rujing, you are playing bigger and bigger. Don't die without even knowing. When the time comes, don't look for Ling Xue to borrow. My family's Ling Xue lent you a lot before. Brother, little sister has already returned the money she borrowed from me. Xian Ling Xue lightly yelled, Don't talk about her like that. She is not trustworthy. Xian Fengli also walked over, pulled Xian Rujing and advised, Rujing, enough is enough. If you lose the immortal sword, what will you do in the future? Besides, your little manservant is pretty good. Don't tell me you can bear to see him being ravaged by others. You already won 20,000. Don't be greedy. Xian Rujing does not care about these words at all. She impatiently said, Don't worry about it. Haven't I always been like this for so many years? This time, I will surely win again. Just wait until you are jealous of me. Jiang Zhilong is also hesitating whether he should bet with Xian Rujing or not. Big brother Jiang, are you afraid? Yo. You are sending Jiang family disciples to fight. You are actually afraid of my manservant. Ha ha ha. Xian Rujing loudly ridiculed. Xian Rujing, don't be too proud. Wait a moment. I will make you cry for your daddy and mommy. Jiang Zhilong gritted his teeth and yelled, 80,000 it is, 80,000 it is. Xian Rujing proudly said, I have lost so many times, I have never cried for my daddy and mommy. Other families' people are just watching from the side. Even though they want to enter the stage, it is not official yet. Jiang Zhilong said to a youth with braid behind him with cold expression, Jiang Weirong, the opponent is just a manservant. His awesome part is his clothes. And you can also bring equipment. As he spoke, someone handed Jiang Weirong a set of light golden armor. Seeing the armor, everyone let out a burst of cheers. This is a mid-grade immortal armor. Jiang Zhilong has profited greatly this time. He can surely defeat Xian Rujing's servant. Don't be so absolute. Xian Rujing's manservant is wearing immortal king clothes. Maybe it will make him even stronger. Indeed, that boy toy had defeated Big Kuei Tiger with ease. Many people felt that Qin Yun would not be defeated that easily. After Jiang Weirong put on the armor, he became even more confident. He was a disciple of the Jiang family, and he had a middle-grade immortal armor to protect his body. In his hand was a huge axe that shone with golden light. Although the mountain-splitting battle axe is a low-grade immortal tool, it has very strong explosive power. I heard that it can increase the power of a half-immortal by several times. One swing of the axe can split a 10,000 zhang tall mountain. Xia Yang said in low voice, "That male servant will definitely die if he is hit by the axe." Xian Fengli nodded his head and said, "Even if you have a very strong armor to protect you, you will still be injured by the shockwave produced by the explosion of power." Jiang Weirong walked majestically to the center of the battlefield, carrying his giant axe, looking like he was about to win. Although Qin Yun is wearing a mysterious and powerful immortal robe, he looks much weaker than Jiang Weirong. Xian Lingxue gently pulled Xian Rujing and asked in soft voice, "Little sister, he has no weapon. His mountain-splitting battle axe is a very good immortal tool. If he doesn't have a weapon, he will be at a disadvantage." Xian Rujing thought about it and yelled at Qin Yun, "Do you want my immortal sword? Do you have a saber?" Qin Yun asked, "I don't." Xian Rujing took out her immortal sword and said, "I will use my sword. I have a saber." Xian Lingxue took out a golden saber. It is also a very good low-grade immortal tool. Xian Shaoqing saw the saber, and, just as she was about to speak, Xian Lingxue threw the saber to Qin Yun. "Lingxue, this saber is your best immortal tool. How can you lend it to him?" Xian Shaoqing very unhappily yelled, "Don't I have an immortal sword? Then again, I'm only lending it to him." Xian Lingxue said with light smile, "Don't tell me you are afraid that he will run away with my saber. You are brother and sister. How can the disparity be so big? If you win, my big sister will give you 10,000 immortal jade beads." Xian Rujing pulled Xian Lingxue to the side. She doesn't want to be together with Xian Shaoqing. "Still want to win? As long as your little manservant doesn't die." Xian Shaoqing glared at Xian Rujing. She is very angry. After Qin Yun took Xian Lingxue's saber, he promptly said, "Many thanks, Madame Lingxue, for lending me this saber." Xian Lingxue charmingly smiled. "You are welcome. You must win. Otherwise, little sister will lose miserably." This caused many people to feel jealous because Qin Yun can actually use Xian Lingxue's saber. Everyone knows that Xian Lingxue uses a saber and a sword. Sometimes she only uses one, sometimes she uses both. She is very strong when fighting. Qin Yun held Xian Lingxue's saber and looked at it for a bit. This is after all an immortal tool. Even though it is low grade, it is still very good. It is a bit better than his Ninth Heaven Mysterious King saber. The main reason is that it was made with many immortal tier materials. However, he feels that if he was the one to refine it, it would be even better. Xian Lingxue's Snow Brilliance Battle Saber is said to be very famous among low-grade immortal tools. Jiang Weirong looked at the saber in Qin Yun's hand and said with cold smile, "But in your hands, this saber is just a waste. You will not be able to unleash its full might. Do you want me to lend you my Shining Spirit Immortal Sword? I have refined Shining Spirit and Snow Brilliance for many years. They are very compatible with each other." Xian Lingxue lightly yelled at Qin Yun, "No need, this saber is enough." Qin Yun firmly held the saber's hilt and tried pouring power into it. "It is very smooth. As long as he can do this, it will be fine." Jiang Zhilong said with smile, "Everyone retreat. If we fight this time, the commotion will surely be very big." Xian Shaoqing lightly groaned and said, "Lingxue, if your saber is broken, you must make Xian Rujing compensate." Everyone retreated further and further away from him. "Begin," Jiang Zhilong suddenly shouted. Xian Rujing just sent sound transmission to Qin Yun, telling him not to hold back and to fight with all his strength. As long as he wins this battle, she will be perfectly satisfied. Therefore, Qin Yun used passing shadow extinction breath step from the very beginning. As soon as the battle started, Qin Yun suddenly disappeared. His aura also disappeared. This strange movement technique caused everyone to open their eyes wide. They are looking at the vast and empty battlefield in amazement. While everyone is crying out in alarm, Qin Yun suddenly appeared behind Jiang Weirong. Qin Yun brandished the snow-brilliant saber and hacked down. Thunder and lightning exploded all around. It is as if thunder and lightning let out a furious roar. This is Six-Style Wind Slayer's Thunder Slayer. Rumble. As the saber fell down, golden light appeared on Jiang Weirong's armor. After all, it is a middle-grade immortal armor. It can block this sudden attack. However, Qin Yun's ferocious saber strike is filled with vibrating power. The valiant vibration caused Jiang Weirong's body to churn and the grassland within a radius of a kilometer to crack and cave in. Jiang Weirong also has some strength. He hastily brandished his axe. It is as if he can chop down a mountain. A powerful energy swept out and forced Qin Yun to dodge. However, Jiang Weirong also spat out a mouthful of blood. Qin Yun's saber strike is truly too crazy. Everyone is extremely shocked because they sense the aura of a first tribulation half-immortal. Qin Yun is actually a first tribulation half-immortal. Moreover, he is a very strong one. Everyone became emotionally moved and cried out in alarm. After discovering that Qin Yun is a first tribulation half-immortal, Jiang Zhilong's expression became gloomy as he looked at Xian Rujing. He really did not expect that he would be tricked by a woman. Xia Yang is also dumbstruck because she did not expect Qin Yun to be so strong. Young first tribulation half-immortals are mostly disciples of famous sections. And Qin Yun willingly became Xian Rujing's servant. This caused many people's imaginations to run wild. Qin Yun also held back his strength. If he used his full strength, it would be too shocking. After he dodged Jiang Weirong's axe, he suddenly disappeared and arrived beside Jiang Weirong in a blink. Oh! Jiang Weirong suddenly screamed because he felt that his body is in great pain. Qin Yun used mysterious penetration divine ability and suffering divine ability to penetrate through the defense of the middle-grade immortal armor and enter Jiang Weirong's body. While Jiang Weirong is in great pain, Qin Yun's saber swept horizontally. His imposing manner is like splitting waves and cutting wind. Saber energy burst out and let out a whistling sound. The snowy battle saber flickered with golden light and brought out a burst of ice-cold air. Qin Yun is using Wind Slayer style and wave-breaking style of Six-Style Wind Slayer. One saber, two styles. Boom! This time Qin Yun's saber landed on the middle-grade immortal armor and produced a large amount of golden sparks. Jiang Weirong's body is in great pain. He is completely unable to defend. He can only let Qin Yun hack at him. Even with the protection of the middle-grade immortal armor, Jiang Weirong vomited blood after being shaken by the saber. This middle-grade immortal armor is very strong. Qin Yun doesn't dare to use too much strength. He is worried that he will damage the snowy battle saber. After all, it is not his. Jiang Weirong is an outstanding young hero. He is wearing a middle-grade immortal armor, but he is still being beaten up. Everyone is now shocked by Qin Yun's strength. Qin Yun threw the snowy battle saber back to Xian Lingxue, then rushed over and punched Jiang Weirong, who was on the ground. When the fist flew over, there was no sound, but it brought along a terrifying power. It seems as if it wants to tear apart space and landed on Jiang Weirong's face. Bang! Just as Jiang Weirong crawled up, he was sent flying by Qin Yun's punch. His face became deformed. That is King-tier martial art Windless Fist. I heard it is extremely difficult to learn. Xian Fengli shouted in alarm. After Jiang Weirong was sent flying, he sensed Qin Yun's ferocious aura assaulting him. His heart is filled with extreme fear. He involuntarily shouted, "I concede." Qin Yun's Windless Fist has already rushed over, but stopped in front of Jiang Weirong's nose. The tip of Jiang Weirong's nose is filled with cold sweat. Qin Yun's fist did not produce any wind, but the condensed power is indescribably dreadful. What caused people to be most startled is that Qin Yun stopped as he said he would. His control over power has already reached the peak of perfection. If it was someone else, they would not have been able to stop that fist. This time, everyone could see that Qin Yun was able to win by relying on real strength. After Qin Yun stopped, Xian Rujing yelled, "Xiao Yun, come back, we won." Qin Yun did not say a word. His face is expressionless as he walked towards Xian Rujing. She is very obedient and clever. This caused many people to be secretly envious. After all, this kind of servant is very hard to find. Chapter 1204. Only Winner. Xian Fengli is very happy to see his cousin win. He promptly took out his weapon and walked over to help. He is worried that Jiang Zhilong will act shamelessly. "Umph, you are truly treacherous." Jiang Zhilong coldly groaned, then threw a storage pouch at Xian Rujing and said again, "If I did not see your master and slave token, I would not believe that this kind of person would become your servant." Xian Rujing said with smile, "I save his life. He said he would work like an ox or a horse for me. What is so strange about becoming my servant?" Jiang Zhilong looked at Qin Yun and coldly said, "You are a slave to a woman. Is there any meaning in living like this? What does it have to do with you?" Xian Rujing tossed the storage pouch and said with proud smile, "Jiang Zhilong lost everything. Luckily, he made a small profit from selling the map." Xian Rujing also gave Xian Lingxue 10,000 immortal jade beads. "Sister, you are a good person. You deserve it. No need to thank me." Xian Rujing is in the limelight today. Her entire person looks a lot more radiant. "Little sister, you are also a good person because you saved him. Now he is repaying you and letting you earn so much." Xian Lingxue looked at Qin Yun and said with light smile, "Don't snatch him away. He is mine." Xian Rujing promptly pulled Qin Yun over. Xian Lingxue giggled and said, "Relax." Xian Shaoqing said, "Xian Rujing, you should have given Lingxue 30,000 immortal jade beads. Her saber played a very big role." Xian Rujing doesn't want to contradict Xian Shaoqing, so she can only remain silent. Otherwise, if she speaks too loudly, Xian Shaoqing will become unhappy. "Brother," Xiao Yun used Windless Fist to force Jiang Weirong to concede. "It has nothing to do with my saber." How can Xian Lingxue not see that her saber did not play a very big role? Qin Yun can kill Jiang Weirong with bare hands. Xia Yang said in low voice, "Sister Lingxue, this guy must have great background. A person with this kind of strength is not an ordinary person." Everyone can see that Qin Yun is not an ordinary person. His strength is more outstanding than many young heroes. Everyone believes that the reason why Qin Yun is willing to become Xian Rujing's slave is because he wants to use this kind of method to obtain the opportunity to be together with Xian Rujing. Maybe in the future, feelings will develop, and he will be able to obtain Xian Rujing. Everyone secretly praised this clever move because they all know Xian Rujing's current temperament. It is not that easy to swindle her. Xian Rujing suffered a loss before. Her feelings were tricked by Long Chuanwu. Therefore, she is now very cautious. This is also human nature. Jiang Zhilong said, "Next, whoever wants to communicate can do so. My Jiang family will not participate." Everyone could understand. After all, Jiang Zhilong lost 100,000 immortal jade beads. It was extremely painful. Xian Yuan Ping walked out and said, "My Xian Yuan family will send out third tribulation half-immortal. As long as you can defeat our third tribulation half-immortal, you will get 20,000 immortal jade beads." Finally, it is the third tribulation half-immortal's turn to fight. Everyone immediately became excited. 20,000, isn't that too little? Xian Rujing said with sneer. "When did your Xian Yuan family become so poor?" Xian Rujing, "This has nothing to do with you. Don't speak." Xian Yuan Ping unhappily yelled. Xian Rujing groaned and did not speak again. She just watched from the side with Qin Yun. She is just a third tribulation half immortal. It indeed has nothing to do with her. 20,000 it is, I will go. Xian Lingxue yelled. "Will you use your equipment?" "This we can use it." Xin Yuan Ping saw Xian Lingshuo come out and suddenly became nervous. Everyone knows that Xian Lingshuo's husband is very formidable. He said with some difficulty, "Miss Lingshuo, you should not participate in this kind of competition. If you are injured, we will be afraid of retaliation." Xian Lingshuo said with light smile, "Relax. I guarantee nothing will happen. A fair competition is fine. With your words, we can also relax a lot." Xin Yuan Ping said with grin and then waved his hand. A youth wearing black armor walked out from behind him. He is holding a pair of black rods in his hands. There are many thorns on the black rods. Xian Shaoqing is very confident in her little sister, so she is not worried at all. Everyone knows that Xian Lingshuo is very strong, but Xin Yuan Ping and others are not afraid. Xian Yuan family's younger generation are not weak. For example, this youth wearing black armor. He is a very famous young expert. Xin Yuan Ling. This guy's strongest point is his speed and power. His defense is not good. That is why he is wearing armor. Xian Rujing said, "Ling Xue will surely defeat him." Xian Fengli said with smile, "Of course, Big Sister has cultivated immortal martial spirit. Moreover, her martial spirit is very mysterious." Xian Rujing said, "Qin Yun also cannot see through Xian Lingshuo's martial spirit. It is indeed very mysterious." Xian Yuan Ling's expression is grave and stern. His killing intent is soaring. Seeing his imposing manner, it is clear that he is a person who will do whatever he wants. He will not consider the consequences. Even if he is facing Xian Lingshuo, he will still dare to attack. Xian Shaoqing yelled, "Begin!" Although Xian Lingshuo is wearing red skirt, and it is not clear whether she is wearing defensive equipment or not, the Spirit Flash Immortal Sword and Snow Brilliance Battle Saber in her hands are very dazzling. They are very strong weapons. Xian Yuanling's speed is very fast. He suddenly flashed and crossed several meters, arrived in front of Xian Lingshuo, and vigorously smashed down with the rods in his hands. Xian Lingshuo is not moving at all. Her beautiful face is filled with calmness. It is unknown how she is able to easily use the saber and sword in her hands to hit Xian Yuanling's rods, even releasing a very strong power that sent Xian Yuanling flying. Xian Yuanling furiously roared and flew over again. The rods in his hands are steaming with black gas. The power they released caused the earth to violently shake. This time he did not approach Xian Lingshuo. When he is not far away, he ferociously smashed down with his rods. Two black energy waves shot out and entered the ground, scooped up a large amount of soil, and enveloped Xian Lingshuo. Xian Lingshuo's figure flickered. Like a ghost, she suddenly arrived beside Xian Yuanling. Everyone cried out in alarm because the Spirit Flash Immortal Sword in Xian Lingshuo's hand has disappeared. The Immortal Sword actually flew out, as if it has its own consciousness. It stabbed toward Xian Yuanling from behind. Xian Yuanling does not care about his back because Xian Lingshuo is attacking from the front. Ho! After Xian Lingshuo rushed over, she held the saber hilt with both hands and chopped down very ferociously. Xian Yuanling can only raise his rods to block. Boom! Xian Lingshuo's saber chopped down and broke the rods. The edge of the saber also chopped on the black armor. Qin Yun is secretly startled. He did not expect this gentle and charming-looking woman to have such tyrannical power. One must know that Xian Yuanling's rods are low-grade immortal tools. The difference between low-grade immortal tools is not too big, but if the opponent's immortal tool is damaged, it is most likely because the opponent is too strong. The Spirit Flash Immortal Sword pierced through the armor and stabbed into Xian Yuanling's back. I can see Xian Yuanling knows that he has no chance to turn the situation around. He can only concede. Xian Lingshuo lightly breathed out and took back the Spirit Flash Immortal Sword. Everyone sighed again and again. This is not the first time they are watching Xian Lingshuo fight, but every time they watch, they are very shocked. Her saber is damaged. Qin Yun said to Xian Rujing in low voice. Really? Xian Rujing is somewhat in disbelief. That saber is very good. How can it be damaged? Just as she finished speaking, many people started shouting. Because many cracks have appeared on the surface of Xian Lingshue's snow brilliance battle saber, the saber has also become dim. Xian Lingshue's expression is filled with heartache. She looked at the damaged saber with hidden bitterness, lightly sighed, and then stored it. What a loss! Snow Brilliance Battle Saber is worth 50,000 immortal jade beads, but if we win, we will only win 20,000. Xian Fengli sighed and said. After Xian Lingxue returned, Xian Shaoqing looked at her Snow Brilliance Battle Saber, then furiously roared at Xian Rujing and Qin Yun. You compensate. If it was not lent to that brat just now, it would not have been damaged. That brat used it to hack the middle-grade immortal armor, causing the Snow Brilliance Battle Saber to be damaged. Brother, it has nothing to do with him. I used too much strength just now. Did you not see? Xin Yuan family's dual rods were damaged by me. It is impossible for my saber to not be damaged. Xian Lingxue promptly pulled Xian Shaoqing. Xin Yuan family side also lost miserably. Those dual rods worth several tens of thousands of immortal jade beads have been damaged. Xian Rujing feels somewhat apologetic. She took out another 10,000 immortal jade beads and handed them over to Xian Lingxue, but Xian Lingxue doesn't want them. I want them. Xian Shaoqing extended her hand to take them, but was glared at by Xian Lingxue. Jizhen said with smile, I think we should not exchange. Everyone has suffered miserably. Xian Rujing has made a huge profit. Someone chimed in and said. Everyone simultaneously looked at Xian Rujing. Not only did she win a very good immortal robe, she also won 100,000 immortal jade beads and a bottle and a half of immortal bee jade nectar. This is indeed a huge profit. She is the sole winner of today. Xian Rujing also knows that the reason why she can have this kind of momentum is because of Qin Yun's secret support. What are you looking at? I won this with my own strength. Xian Rujing coldly groaned and said, Since there is nothing for me to do here, let's go. She is anxious to return and split these things evenly with Qin Yun. Then let's all disperse. Jiang Zhilong let out a long sigh and walked towards his carriage. Qin Yun suddenly sent sound transmission to Xian Rujing, telling her to negotiate with Xian Shaoqing and buy the puppet. Xian Rujing is very unwilling because Xian Shaoqing is a very hateful person. But since Qin Yun wants it, she has no other way. After some haggling, Xian Shaoqing sold the puppet to Xian Rujing for 20,000 immortal jade beads. Although Xian Shaoqing is very hateful, he did not keep the 20,000 immortal jade beads for himself. Instead, he distributed them to the people who captured the puppet. Little sister, come sit with me. I am in a bad mood. You must comfort me. Xian Lingxue walked over to Xian Rujing and said with sad expression, All right, can I bring him? Xian Rujing looked at Qin Yun and said, Of course you can. Xian Lingxue nodded. Just like this, Qin Yun boarded Xian Lingxue's luxurious carriage under the envious gaze of many people. Although Xia Yang is somewhat unwilling, since Xian Lingxue has agreed, she cannot say anything. After Xian Lingxue boarded the carriage, she took out the Snow Brilliance Battle Saber, which is full of cracks. Her charming phoenix eyes are immediately filled with tears. Chapter 1205. Puppet leads the way. Qin Yun and Xian Rujing are startled. They did not expect Xian Lingxue to cry so suddenly. Earlier when they were outside, she did not look like she was crying at all. Sister, don't cry. How about this? I will give you 20,000 more immortal jade beads. You still have 30,000 more in your hands. Adding the 20,000 I will give you, you could buy a new one. Xian Rujing's ice-cold heart suddenly softened seeing this delicate and kind-hearted woman crying like a pear blossom dripping with rain. Normally, she is jealous of Xian Lingxue in her heart, but on the surface her relationship with Xian Lingxue is very good. Sister Lingxue, please accept it. Xia Yang also persuaded in low voice. I don't want it. Xian Lingxue wiped her tears and squeezed out a smile with great difficulty. She said in soft voice, Little sister, you have less resources than me. I can't accept it. Xian Rujing said with smile, No problem. I could do it myself. If I rely on the family, I will starve to death. Xian Lingxue shook her head and wiped her tears away. However, her eyes were still red. It is not easy for you to live alone. I can't accept it. Xian Lingxue lightly sighed and said, when other people gave gifts to Xian Lingxue, she always smiled and accepted them. But when Xian Rujing gave it to her, she did not accept it. It can be seen that she is very good to Xian Rujing. Qin Yun does not understand why Xian Rujing is so prejudiced against Xian Lingxue. Of course, Xian Rujing is now completely convinced by Xian Lingxue's gentleness and kindness. She sat beside Xian Lingxue and asked, Sister, isn't your man very awesome? Can't you just ask him to give you a new snow yao war saber? Xian Lingxue lightly groaned and said, Don't mention that guy. I am not even in his heart. He said he wants to marry me. It is only to get close to you. He feels that he has no hope of pursuing you. So he is ignoring me. What? That bastard Song Fengshen is actually this kind of person? Xian Rujing furiously shouted. Little sister, you actually don't know. I am very envious of you. You are a lone wolf. You are not bound by the family. And I, for the sake of the elders, do not dare to act recklessly. I can only obey their arrangements. Xian Lingxue's eyes suddenly became moist. Qin Yun could tell that Xian Lingxue's sadness was not because of the broken saber, but because of the grievances she had accumulated over the years. Xian Rujing can also see it. She lightly groaned and said, Song Fengshen's father. I heard he is an inscription pill master, right? Xia Yang said, that guy's father is Song Zhaoshi. Song Zhaoshi? That guy who can refine immortal jade bead? Xian Rujing said with frown. This guy indeed has some status in Immortal Desolate. Xian Lingxue nodded. Her face was full of grievance as she said in a low voice, He said he was going to marry me this year, but he postponed it until next year. He said that he wanted to marry me and 4 other women. He wanted to marry 5 at once. That would be grand enough. Xia Yang cursed in a low voice. That Song Fengshen is really too much. We originally agreed that he would only marry 5 people in that wedding. But later, he felt that it was too little and wanted to add 5 more, marrying 10 at once. He already has a big wife. Although that big wife is a fairy, she can't control him. This wretched womanizer, he should be castrated. Xian Rujing ferociously glared at Qin Yun. Qin Yun spread out his hands in grievance. Little sister, why are you blaming him? Xian Lingxue saw Xian Rujing very angrily looking at Qin Yun and said with some worry, I want to castrate him. I'm talking about that guy Song Fengshen. Xian Rujing coldly groaned and said, marrying 10 women in one wedding. This is too much. He basically doesn't put us immortal family disciples in his eyes. Oh, that's right. What does your brother think of this loathsome guy? Xian Lingxue cannot help but shed sad tears. She said while sobbing, Brother said that I'm only a half immortal. Being able to marry an immortal with a bright future is a great blessing. I should not complain too much. Marry my ass. Don't marry. Follow me to roam the world. Xian Rujing pulled Xian Lingxue's hand and said with lofty sentiments. But Xian Rujing coldly groaned and said, Don't be afraid of them. Listen to me. They don't even consider you human. Why do you care so much about their feelings? Xia Yang said in low voice, Madam Rujing, how about you accompany Big Sister Lingxue and marry Song Fengshen together? This way Big Sister Lingxue won't be bullied. Little girl, what kind of stupid words are you saying? Why does that guy Song Fengshen want to marry me? Isn't he just a little immortal? What's the big deal? Big Sister marrying him is already letting him off lightly. Yet he wants me to marry him as well. Xian Rujing furiously shouted. She pointed at Qin Yun and said again, Even if we marry this guy, we can never marry that pig Song Fengshen. Xia Yang looked at Qin Yun with disgust and said in low voice, Why does he want to marry Big Sister Lingxue? Little girl, even if you strip naked, he might not even look at you. Moreover, me and Lingxue want to marry him. He might not even agree. Xian Rujing understands Qin Yun very well. She hinted to Qin Yun that he can make do with it, but Qin Yun disliked her. Xia Yang looked at Qin Yun's handsome and mature face and discovered that he is indifferent. She suddenly feels that Qin Yun is unfathomable. Qin Yun asked, Madame Lingxue, how many immortal jade beads did you buy your snow brilliant battle saber? How long did you buy it? 68 immortal jade beads. I asked my family's immortal inscription master to customize it. I bought it for 5 years. Xian Lingxue took out the snow brilliant battle saber again and touched the cracks on it with heartache. Xian Rujing recalled that Qin Yun is a very awesome inscription master and asked, Can you repair this saber? Let me take a look, Qin Yun said. Xian Lingxue handed over the saber to Qin Yun in amazement. Qin Yun looked at it and said, There should be no problem. You can repair this saber? How can you be so awesome? Xian Lingxue doesn't dare to believe it. She looked at Xian Rujing in amazement. I will let my friend repair it, Qin Yun said with a smile. Is your friend an immortal inscription master? Xia Yang asked in amazement. She isn't, but she can repair it. Qin Yun doesn't want to repair it himself. He wants Nangong Shuru and Yao Fong to repair it together. This will increase Nangong Shuiru's understanding of immortal tools. I will keep this saber with me for now. I will let my friend repair it and then return it to you, Qin Yun said again. If it can be repaired, then I won't need to buy another one. Xian Lingxue's face showed a sweet smile and nodded. Qin Yun placed the snow brilliant battle saber into the Nine Sun Divine Soul and handed it over to Nangong Shuru. Xian Lingxue said to Xian Rujing, Little sister, what is the background of this little manservant of yours? He is very awesome. He can be considered my friend. I saved his life once, so he followed me. Xian Rujing coldly groaned and said, This guy's not easy to deal with. Big sister, you must be on guard against him. Xian Lingxue can sense that when Qin Yun is looking at her, he does not have many thoughts. He is only looking at her with a kind of appreciation. After returning to the immortal mansion, Xian Rujing got down from Xian Lingxue's carriage and brought Qin Yun back to the cave. Originally, I won 100,000 immortal jade beads. I gave 10,000 to Xian Lingxue. I used 20,000 to buy the puppet. Now I have 70,000 left. I take 20,000, you take 50,000. Is that okay? Xian Rujing knows that Qin Yun is not someone who is willing to suffer losses, so she gave him some more. I want 20,000. You can have a remaining 50,000. Then give me a bottle of immortal bee jade nectar, Qin Yun said. Many thanks, great venerable Qin, Xian Rujing said with a smile. Why are you so generous? Xian Rujing took out the puppet and placed it on the ground. Qin Yun feels that it is all thanks to Xian Rujing that he can come into contact with the things of his past life. It's nothing, I got this set of clothes, it is very cheap. I have to thank Madame Rujing for this. Qin Yun laughed. Great venerable Qin, tell me honestly, do you have any thoughts about my family's big sister Lingxue? Xian Rujing used her lily-white hand to gently caress Qin Yun's handsome face and said with ambiguous smile, Of course not. Didn't you say it before? Even if you two marry me, I don't necessarily want them. Of course, if you two marry me, I will still want them. Qin Yun squatted down and carefully studied the puppet. If you have any thoughts, I will matchmake you and big sister Lingxue together. Xian Rujing stroked Qin Yun's head and said, Am I good enough to you? Qin Yun did not say anything because he is very earnestly studying the puppet. He suddenly feels that he can control this puppet. Xian Rujing said with frown, What is there to study about this puppet? Although it looks good on the surface, the inside is very damaged. Otherwise, that loathsome Xian Shaoqing would not have sold it to me. Just as she finished speaking, the puppet suddenly started moving on the ground. This caused both Xian Rujing and Qin Yun to promptly retreat in fright. What did you do? Xian Rujing yelled in shock. I don't know. I just injected my mental power into it and gave orders to the puppet to make it move. Qin Yun said with a look of pleasant surprise, Maybe this puppet can lead us to treasure hunt. Really? Quickly repair it. You are a venerable inscription master. It should not be a problem for you to repair this half-immortal puppet, right? Xian Rujing suddenly yelled in excitement. She wants to monopolize the immortal family's treasure and then escape to a faraway place. Bang, bang, bang. Suddenly someone knocked on the stone door of the cave. My foolish big brother is here. Xian Rujing cursed in low voice, then walked over to open the door. It is indeed Xian Fengli, and Qin Yun has already stored away the puppet. After Xian Fengli came in, he said with grave expression, "Little sister, the family elders want you to hand over that set of clothes. They say that it has research value." "I will hand it over to their grandpa," Xian Rujing furiously yelled. "Tell those old fogies to come find me. I will curse those old fogies to death. I obtained it myself. Why should I hand it over to those old fogies who are just eating and waiting to die?" "Little sister, don't speak so loudly." Xian Fengli promptly closed the stone door and looked at Qin Yun. Qin Yun took off his clothes. They were originally white, but after he took them off, they became black. "Sir, these clothes have fused with my soul. Only belong to me." Qin Yun finished speaking and put on the clothes again. They became white again. Xian Rujing shouted in loud voice, "Even if they did not fuse with your soul, I, Xian Rujing, still won them. No one can give them to me. Let's go. We must leave this broken-down place now." Chapter 1206. Immortal woman hearing this. Xian Rujing seems like she is about to explode in anger. She loudly shouted, "Big brother, go back and tell those old bastards that I don't want their protection. I got that set of clothes myself, so why should the Xin Yuan family take it back? What right does our immortal mansion have to fight over it?" Not only did she have to deal with the threat of the Xian Yuan family, but the seniors of Immortal Mansion were also taking advantage of her misfortune to demand that she obediently hand over that set of clothes. This made her very angry. "My dear sister, why are you so willful? Wasn't it just a set of clothes? Just give it to them. It can be exchanged for your safety." Xian Fengli is also very helpless. "I can guarantee my safety. Don't worry about them." Xian Rujing looked at Qin Yun and yelled, "We will immediately leave the Immortal Mansion. There's no point in staying in this damn place." She had stayed here to inquire about the Celestial Supreme Treasure. But now, she had grasped a certain clue. As long as Qin Yun repaired the puppet, he might be able to find the location of the treasure. Xian Fengli is also unable to stop Xian Rujing. He can only watch the furious Xian Rujing bring Qin Yun out of the cave. If she was alone, she definitely wouldn't dare to run around outside. Now that Qin Yun is accompanying her, Xian Rujing has nothing to fear because she is very clear about Qin Yun's methods. Xian Rujing took out 3 bottles of divine liquid and handed them over to Qin Yun. "This is your reward." "Didn't you say 2 bottles? Why did he give 3 bottles?" "Lady Rujing, you are truly generous," Qin Yun said with a smile. "Let's all be more generous so that we can cooperate more happily." Xian Rujing saw that Qin Yun gave her 50,000 immortal jade beads before, so she is very generous now. Furthermore, Qin Yun might be able to repair the puppet, allowing her to obtain the immortal treasure early. "Are we leaving the city?" asked Qin Yun. "Not for the time being. In this immortal sect city, it's still relatively safe. If we go out, how are we going to gather all sorts of information?" Xian Rujing took out a sound transmission magic tool and cursed in low voice. "Those old bastards from Immortal Mansion. They cultivate all day long and leave all kind of trivial matters to us juniors. But they are the ones who get the benefits. I can't be bothered to sell my life for them. Isn't that normal?" Qin Yun shook his head and smiled. "The problem is if they want us to do something for them, that's fine, but they have to give us enough benefits. They even embezzled our immortal jade beads." Xian Rujing curled her lips and said, "Don't think I don't know. They are hiding it from us juniors and embezzling a portion of immortal jade beads." Qin Yun now understands why Xian Rujing is so rebellious. It is because she encountered too much injustice in Immortal Mansion. Not only me, but my big brother and big sister Lingxue also had a portion deducted by them. Only the little elder, Xian Shaoqing, was not devoured. Xian Rujing sighed. "I will send sound transmission to Sister Lingxue. Let's see if she dares to come out and fight me alone." Qin Yun said with a smile. "I'm guessing she wouldn't dare." Xian Rujing quickly received Xian Lingxue's reply. Xian Rujing sighed again. "She really doesn't dare? In the face of foreign enemies, She was very brave. But within the family, she's too weak. That's right, with her qualifications, her status shouldn't be low. Why were the immortal jade beads also deducted? Does she know? Asked Qinyan. Of course she doesn't know. Even if I told her, she wouldn't believe me. Xian Rujing bit her lower lip. Her expression is complicated as she groaned and said, "Stupid woman." Qinyan handed over the bottle of immortal bead jade honey to Nangong Sharu. Let her see whether or not it will be helpful in pill refining. Xian Rujing's head is slightly lowered. Her hands are holding her clothes. She looks very anxious. Apparently, she is very worried about Xian Lingxue. Qinyan, aren't you always crafty and crafty? Do you have any way to make Sister Lingxue come out? Xian Rujing looked at Qinyan and asked. Back then, Qinyan disguised himself as a baldy and sneaked in a Dragon King manner to swindle a large group of people. Even Xian Rujing couldn't detect him, so she wants Qinyan to come up with an idea. I don't know much about her situation. You tell me about it. For example, her parents, her ancestors. What is their status in Immortal Clan? Qinyan asked. Our Immortal Clan is very big in Immortal Desolate. It is spread all over the place. We have big and small branches. We are the lowest level branch. In short, Immortal Clan's branches are divided into various grades. Sister Lingxue's branch is very poor. Her parents died a long time ago. As for her ancestors, I don't know. I have never heard of them. Xian Rujing recalled and slowly said. Then do you know why she is reluctant to part with Immortal Mansion? Qinyan asked again. It should be to repay kindness. She feels that Immortal Clan has shown her great kindness, so she wants to repay kindness. Xian Rujing thought about it and said with sigh, This is easy to handle. Isn't it to let Immortal Clan obtain corresponding benefits? Take out an equivalent benefit and let her hand it over to Immortal Clan. Then the debt will be cleared. Qinyan said, You say it so easily. Where can I find an equivalent benefit to give to Immortal Clan? Moreover, those old guys are insatiably greedy. If I were not unyielding, they would have put me up for auction. Xian Rujing cursed in low voice. Qinyan said with smile, I can help you, but you know me. 10 bottles of divine liquid. Xian Rujing said. Qinyan chuckled. Xian Rujing clenched her teeth, groaned and yelled, How much did you say? 1 vat. Qinyan said with mischievous smile. Xian Rujing ferociously glared at Qinyan and cursed in delicate voice. You heartless guy? Why is it so difficult for you to do a good deed? Don't tell me you can bear to see Sister Lingxue being tortured. You must remember, Sister Lingxue is very good to you. Big Sister Rujing, if I help her, I will have to bear the consequences. Maybe I will be hated by Immortal Clan, and also Xian Lingxue's man, that's Song Fengshen. This debt, they will put it all on my head. I only dare to take the risk to help her because she treated me so well. Otherwise, I wouldn't have cared about such trivial matters. Qinyan unhappily sighed and said, All right, 1 vat it is. In order to help her little sister, Xian Rujing can only agree. Xian Rujing indeed took out a vat of divine liquid. You really have a lot of divine liquid. You even lied to me saying you don't have much left. Qinyan said with chuckle. I really don't have much divine liquid. Sister Lingxue is such an idiot. People always compare me with her. I am inferior to her in all aspects. Now, I actually want to help her. Xian Rujing raised her head and let out a long sigh, then said in self-mockery, Xian Rujing, Xian Rujing, your heart is still too soft. This won't do. You must become a vicious and merciless female devil. Qinyan stored away the vat of divine liquid and said with very satisfied smile, You are cold on the outside, but warm on the inside. Indeed, I am a good person after all. I also have conscience. What about you? You are a heartless and unscrupulous guy. You see Sister Lingxue, this delicate and good girl, is in trouble, yet you don't take the initiative to help her. Xian Rujing coldly groaned and said. Qinyan is sitting there with an indifferent expression. He is looking at Xian Rujing with beaming smile. Xian Rujing sat down, pinched Qinyan's thigh, and yelled, You bastard, You took my things, you should be a bit more efficient in handling matters. Quickly get Sister Lingxue out. Let her follow me to roam the world. There is no rush. She still hasn't returned to Immortal Desolate, right? Qin Yun said with smile. Before she returns to Immortal Desolate, she will contact you, right? Xian Rujing nodded and said, Of course she will. She came to this place because she is running away from that pig Song Fengshun. If she really returns and marries Song Fengshun, she will have to marry Song Fengshun along with 9 other women. That would be a huge loss of face. Just thinking about it makes my heart ache. Is Song Fengshun really not bad? Qin Yun asked. Not bad, my ass. He is a womanizer. Don't even say anything. He has no skill at all. He only relies on his father. Xian Rujing very disdainfully said. To tell the truth, I would rather Sister Lingxue be served by a pig like you than with Song Fengshun. Qin Yun rolled his eyes at Xian Rujing and asked, What is so good about Immortal Spirit Snow? Does Song Fengshun really care about Immortal Spirit Snow? I'm not sure about this. According to my understanding, Song Fengshun and Sister Lingxue have only met a few times. It is Song Fengshun's father Song Zhaoshi who wants him to marry Sister Lingxue. Xian Rujing thought for a bit and said again, I suspect that Sister Lingxue's constitution is rather special. That is why Song Zhaoshi fancies her. This Song Zhaoshi's ability is not small. Maybe he discovered that Sister Lingxue has a special constitution, so he gave her to his son, so that his son can pluck her. Qin Yun frowned. Pluck? They are all immortals, yet they still use this kind of method? Xian Rujing said with sneer. Immortals? In my eyes, immortals and devils are not much different. It is nothing more than seeing who can hide their evil side well. Some immortals who are discovered doing evil are devils. Those who are not discovered are still immortals. In this world, there are many people who look sanctimonious, but do many evil things in private. Haven't you seen this kind of people before? Qin Yun nodded his head. He is also deeply aware of this kind of people. He has seen many of them since childhood. Moreover, he was even persecuted by them. Qin Yun, I will tell you the truth. Because our immortal family's bloodline is special, many of our immortal family's women have hidden special constitution. In other words, after plucking us, they will obtain great benefits. Xian Rujing sighed. That is why our immortal family's women have bitter lives. Qin Yun recalled Xie Qiru. Xie Qiru's previous life's name was Xian Qiru. Her constitution is also special. She was born with a mortal devil body. Later it is said that she cultivated a mortal devil sacred body. How many immortal family's women do you have? Qin Yun asked. Not many. You also saw, last time there was only me and Sister Lingxue in the exchange meeting. These years, the number of women born in our immortal family has become fewer and fewer. I don't know why. Xian Rujing's expression is filled with doubt as she spoke. I suspect that someone is secretly hiding immortal family's female babies, then secretly selling them. For benefits, for cultivation, these people can do any kind of malicious thing. Human's heart is truly sinister. Qin Yun helplessly let out a long sigh. Chapter 1207. Innate saint spirit. As Qin Yun was thinking about Xie Qiru, he suddenly felt that the reason why Xie Qiru was sealed in the immortal graveyard was most likely because of her special physique. Someone wanted to obtain her. This immediately made him think of a very bad thing. Io. While Qin Yun is lost in thought, he suddenly felt pain on the back of his hand. He discovered that Xian Rujing is biting him. He could not help but shout, Ice Mother Tigress, why are you randomly biting people? He is not to be outdone. He directly used Dragon Claw Hand to counterattack and succeeded this time. Xian Rujing became furious after being attacked by Qin Yun's evil Dragon Claw Hand. After loosening her bite, she vigorously pried open Qin Yun's Dragon Claw Hand and furiously said, You bastard! You're grabbing me again. I will fight it out with you. Just like this, Xian Rujing and Qin Yun began tearing and biting each other inside the carriage, causing the carriage to shake unceasingly. People outside saw the carriage shaking while moving. They all laughed but did not say anything. After all, This is a very common thing. After Qin Yun and Xian Rujing tossed and turned for a while, they discovered that if they continue, both of them will suffer losses, so they stopped. Xian Rujing's face is filled with fury. She tidied up her messy clothes and hair. Qin Yun released Tree Totem's power to heal the bitten area, biting me without saying a word. It was you who started it. Qin Yun lightly groaned and said, truly baffling. I was talking to you just now, but you ignored me. You took a vat of divine liquid from me, yet you are not even a bit concerned about my problems. If I don't bite you, how will you learn from your mistakes? Xian Rujing furiously said. Qin Yun was thinking about Xia Qiru's matter just now. Because he heard Xian Rujing say that immortal women have special constitution, he suddenly had a bold idea and became entranced. Relax. I will make Xian Lingxue willingly leave Immortal Mansion as soon as possible and let her follow you to roam the world. However, I need you to cooperate with me. Qin Yun said with firm expression. How do you want me to cooperate? Tell me. Xian Rujing asked. Qin Yun opened the window, looked outside, then closed it and asked, where are we going? To my home. It is the small courtyard I bought before. Xian Rujing said. Call Xianling Shui over. We will talk to her openly. Ask her about her situation. Qin Yun said. All right. Xian Rujing took out a sound transmission magic tool and sent sound transmission to Xianling Shui. After a while, Xian Rujing cursed. Damn Xian Shaoqing. Forbid her from leaving Immortal Mansion. That's right. She can't leave the Immortal Mansion as she pleases. Ask her about her immortal martial spirit. Qin Yun said. Xian Rujing shook her head and said, she did not tell me. She only said that she doesn't know what kind of immortal martial spirit it is. The carriage arrived at a rather remote area of the immortal sect city. This place was sparsely populated, and the immortal qi was rather thin. After Qin Yun got off the car, he followed Xian Rujing into a small house with a courtyard. Just find a room to stay in. You fought so many battles before. You must be very tired, Xian Rujing said. Qin Yun found a room on the first floor, closed the door, and set up a simple barrier. He took out the immortal graveyard diagram and contacted Xia Qiru. Sister Qiru, I have something to tell you. It is related to immortals. Qin Yun told Xia Qiru about the situation of immortal women. Then he told Xia Qiru about Xianling Shui's situation in detail. After Xia Qiru finished listening, she rebuked and said, Xiao Yun, you are so dishonest. You actually took Rujing's divine liquid. You should have directly helped Ling Xue. Rujing must be ice and snow goddess. I suspect that ice and snow goddess is rather stupid. That is why she is so incompetent. Qin Yun said with smile, but she must have a lot of divine liquid. I took the opportunity to take a vat. Xiao Yun, you must help Ling Xue. Consider it Sister Qiru begging you to help. Xia Qiru very earnestly said. Sister Qiru, you don't need to beg me. I will definitely help Ling Xue. But can you tell me about the situation of immortal women? Qin Yun asked. I'm not clear at the moment, but I roughly know Ling Xue's situation. Her situation is rather special. Xia Qiru lightly sighed. Qin Yun feels that Xia Qiru must know something, but she is not willing to say it. Xia Qiru said, Ling Xue cultivated immortal martial spirit at such a young age, and she herself doesn't know about it. That means her immortal martial spirit is only a spirit embryo. Spirit embryo? Qin Yun heard these two words and roughly guessed what is going on. Ling Xue's constitution should be innate saint spirit body. In other words, as long as an ordinary martial spirit is placed inside her body, she can let the ordinary martial spirit continuously evolve. Xia Qiru explained. Right now, she should be helping other people cultivate martial spirits. When the time is right, a soul-refining master will come and take away the martial spirit. This is the first time Qin Yun heard of this kind of thing. It is a great eye-opener for him. Move a young soul into her body. Then wait for her to cultivate the soul into an immortal martial spirit before taking it away. Think about it. She is such a gentle and kind person. She must be very sentimental. Therefore, this is a very cruel matter for Ling Xue. Xia Qiru sighed and said, She is also a girl with a bitter life. That is why I am asking you to help her. Then, what's the matter with that Song Fengshun wanting to marry her? Qingyun asked. Innate Saint Spirit body has another advantage. It is that her martial spirit can certainly cultivate to Saint Martial Spirit. Just like your sacred son's spirit vein, she can certainly cultivate to sacred vein. If she wants to cultivate saint body, both saint spirit and saint vein are indispensable. Someone wants to take away her innate saint spirit body, and the fastest way is to devour her. Xie said. Xian Rujing's words are indeed correct. He suddenly felt that Xian Rujing must know something about this. Immortals are willing to hand over such a good constitution to other people. Qingyun feels that this is somewhat incomprehensible. They should be properly nurturing such a person. Immortals can do anything. Xie sighed and said, Xiao Yun, you only need to remember, it's fine as long as the seniors of the immortals aren't anything good. All right, Qingyun now has a deeper understanding of immortals. He stored the immortal graveyard diagram and asked Nangong Shuru if she has finished repairing the snow brilliant battle saber. Nangong Shuiru is currently repairing the snow brilliant battle saber. With Yang flame spewing smelting, she can easily finish repairing the saber. As for Yao Fong, she is studying the puppet. Sister Yao Fong, that is floating cloud heavenly seal. Qingyun said. He has been reporting to Yao Fong about his situation in Seabed Treasure Domain. I know. It has been so many years. Finally, I can see it again. Yao Fong sighed and said, Floating cloud heavenly seal is your proudest achievement. This is a supreme rune that you created and refined together with other things. Really? I heard that floating cloud heavenly seal is a sacred tool. Qingyun said in amazement. Indeed, it is a sacred tool refined by you. As for what happened to you afterwards, I don't know. Yao Fong was cursed many years ago and then entered this nine-sun divine soul. Yao Fong couldn't help much, so she could only pour powerful immortal king's power into the puppet. After the puppet was filled with formidable immortal king power, the runes inside it began to shine. Qingyun looked at the puppet on the ground and then let Mo fly out. The puppet's body is not seriously damaged. Because the runes inside are very old, they have become very dim, causing the puppet's power to weaken. Moreover, it was besieged by a large group of people with immortal tools, causing the runes inside to be seriously damaged. Mo flapped her small wings and flew around the puppet. Her dark green eyes released a burst of red light that shone on the puppet's body. Big brother, I can repair the damaged runes. Mo lightly yelled. Little Mo is really awesome, Qingyun said with a smile. He used his finger to lightly touch Mo's small and cute face, causing Mo to giggle delicately. Qingyun is sitting at the side, resting while looking at Mo repairing the runes and totems on the puppet. Suddenly, he received Xian Rujing's sound transmission and hastily took out a sound transmission magic tool. Qingyun, something big happened. Xian Rujing sent sound transmission. Her voice is very anxious. Why are you not in your room? What happened? Qingyun asked. Sea Demon Royal Race and Xin Sea God Race people have entered the Immortal Sect City. They are looking for you everywhere. I heard that they brought along experts from 5 big sea race and 3 big pirate gangs. This kind of power, even our few big families are somewhat apprehensive. Xian Rujing cursed in low voice. Don't be afraid of them. Qingyun feels that it is nothing. At worst, he will just hide. They know that you are with me. Xian Rujing said again. What should we do next? I will go back and discuss with them. Qingyun received sound transmission from Lu Haikong and others. They have already escaped and are safe for the time being. He doesn't need to worry. Now he sent sound transmission to these elders, telling them to come to the Immortal Sect City. Lu Haikong, Zhuge Qingxiong, Duan Family Head, and Old Dragon are all people who can fight very well. Even Hu Nongtian, who is just a bystander, has a certain level of strength. All of them are together and agreed to meet up with Qingyun. Not long after, Xian Rujing ran back in panic. She went out to scout for information. Qin Yun is waiting for her in the living room. Qin Yun, I heard you crippled Sea Demon King's third prince. You truly have guts. Xian Rujing coldly groaned and said, Rest assured, I will surely handle it well. Qin Yun very calmly said with smile, That puppet will be repaired very soon. Xian Rujing's expression eased up a lot after hearing this news. She asked, What is your next plan? Qin Yun said with smile, Rujing, Ji family, Xian Yuan family, and Jiang family. Who do you think will cooperate? Xian Rujing thought for a bit and said, Xian Yuan family is impossible unless you return the clothes. Jiang family? That Jiang Zhelong is a bastard who will seek revenge for the smallest grievance. I won 100,000 immortal jade beads from him. He will not let it go. Ji family's Ji Jinxiao is rather stupid. He is easy to swindle. You think of a way to contact Ji Jinxiao. Let him meet us in secret and discuss big business. Qin Yun thought for a bit and said again, To make him believe, first give him 5,000 immortal jade beads. I will pay for them. Chapter 1208. Tiger Turtle. Chapter 1208. Tiger Turtle. After Xian Rujing left, Qin Yun returned to his room. Mo is diligently repairing the runes on the puppet's body. Little Mo, how long will it take? Qin Yun asked. Soon. Mo is very serious and busy, she said in low voice. Qin Yun is patiently waiting from the side. What he is worried about is that the puppet will go out of control, so he must concentrate. Otherwise, the moment the puppet is repaired, it will injure Mo. When it is about to be repaired, you must tell me first. I am worried that this thing will go out of control and randomly attack. Qin Yun warned. I know, Mo replied. Qin Yun is crouching beside the puppet. He is always vigilant. His body is condensing a very strong power. If the puppet makes any move, he can immediately protect Mo, and then counterattack. Mo's ability to repair runes is very heaven-defying. After she went into hibernation last time, her ability evolved. Not only she evolved Qin Yun's totem into King Totem, she can also quickly repair runes and record a large number of runes. There are many useful runes recorded in Mo's mind. Qin Yun also plans to wait for the future and let Mo transfer those runes to him. For example, the Heaven and Earth Devil Sealing Goblet has been recorded by Mo. Because Qin Yun's strength is limited, he is still unable to refine immortal tools. More than 2 hours later, Mo suddenly said, Big brother, I am almost done. Qin Yun promptly held Mo in his hands and said, And continue. The puppet only has many damaged areas on the surface. So long as the runes inside are repaired, the puppet will be able to move. After a while, the puppet suddenly moved. Mo has successfully repaired the runes inside the puppet. Qin Yun promptly placed Mo inside the 9-Sun Divine Soul. The puppet flipped over on the ground and stood up. Qin Yun condensed his formidable power and prepared to fight the puppet. However, the puppet is standing motionless on the same spot. Qin Yun gave it a try and sent an order to the puppet. Help me bring that chair over. The puppet immediately went to bring the chair over. Qin Yun, who has been tense all this time, finally relaxed and revealed a smile. What is going on with this puppet? How did it suddenly become under my control? Xiao Yun, the puppet was refined by you in your previous life. Maybe it's because your soul hasn't changed from your previous life, so you can easily control this puppet. Ling Yun said with a smile. Your previous life and this life have a very close connection. The clothes you're wearing can be easily activated, but others can't. Qin Yun thought about it and understood. He sighed and said, I wonder when I will be able to awaken the memories of my previous life. The puppet's face was smashed, and it looked quite uncomfortable. Its body was full of dents, and there were many fist and palm prints. Qin Yun took out a set of beast-hide clothes and a black mask and let the puppet wear it. After the puppet was equipped, it was hard to tell that it was a puppet. Do you know where Immortal King Float Cloud's treasury is? Qin Yun asked. This puppet was very interesting. It could not be controlled by Qin Yun using his own mental power. Instead, it was used to send orders. For example, it would complete whatever he was told to do. The puppet shook its head. Little Cloud, this puppet has a certain level of self-awareness. Moreover, it's not the same as ordinary puppets. Ling Yun said, this should be a mission puppet. After it is refined, it is assigned a mission to the puppet and let the puppet complete the mission. This way, you can ignore it and don't need to worry about it blindly. Because of my previous life, I am the master of this puppet. Qin Yun suddenly felt that this puppet has great research value. That's for sure. You can even talk to this guy, and he only listens to you. Ling Yun said with a smile. Qin Yun sighed and said, this puppet doesn't know where the treasure is hidden. It seems like the mission assigned to him is not to hide the treasure. Then what is it? The puppet's body suddenly spoke. I am the 13th puppet. My name is U13. My mission is to protect the tiger turtle. Tiger turtle? Qin Yun suddenly recalled the big turtle that Jiang Zhilong mentioned. The half of the map that Jiang Zhilong obtained was obtained from the tiger turtle's body. At that time, they heavily injured the tiger turtle, causing it to bleed profusely. The map was also damaged and half of the map spurted out along with the blood. Then do you know where the tiger turtle is? Qin Yun hastily asked. This puppet was found by the immortals. That means the tiger turtle was in the vicinity at that time. I know. Please follow me. Hu 13 said and then walked toward the door. Qin Yun promptly yelled, wait. Can you communicate with the tiger turtle? Hu 13 shook his head. I can only sense the location of the tiger turtle. My mission is to protect it. Then what else do you know? Qin Yun asked. My mission is to protect the tiger turtle. Hu 13 said. Qin Yun did not continue asking. This kind of puppet certainly doesn't know much. Otherwise, it would easily leak out secrets. He stored Hu 13 inside the third pearl of the Nine-Sun Divine Soul and contacted Xian Rujing, telling her to come back quickly. Xian Rujing went to meet with Ji Jinxiao. She wants to cooperate with him. As for what kind of cooperation, Qin Yun did not say it directly. It would be best to talk face to face. Not long after, Xian Rujing returned to the courtyard house. Ji Jinxiao is willing to cooperate, but he said that he wants to talk face to face outside the immortal sex city. This bastard, could it be that he has some other purpose? He said that he is being closely watched. If he is inside the city, he will be easily tracked. Qin Yun thought about it and asked, did Ji Jinxiao ask what kind of cooperation you want? Xian Rujing shook her head and said, he did not ask. He said that he doesn't want the elders to know. Moreover, he believes that cooperating with me will give him great benefits. This guy is actually very smart. How did he know that cooperating with you would give him great benefits? Qin Yun said with a smile. He said that he can see that you are not an ordinary servant. Maybe you are an inscription master. He guessed that the reason why I can win so much in the competition is because of you. Xian Rujing curled her lips and said, this bastard. He usually looks stupid, but he is actually so shrewd. No matter what, he is the leader of Ji family's young heroes. He is certainly not simple. Have you arranged a place to meet? Qin Yun said with a smile. Yes, we will leave at nightfall. What kind of cooperation do you want with him? Xian Rujing asked. You will know when you meet him. Qin Yun smiled mysteriously and said again, that puppet has been repaired. Xian Rujing yelled in pleasant surprise. Really? Take it out and let me see. Qin Yun released Protector 13 and asked him a few questions. Xian Rujing said with frown, it seems like we can only find that tiger turtle. I wonder how strong that tiger turtle is. Jiang family has so many people, but they were not captured by the tiger turtle. They are definitely not simple. We will know when we get there. Relax, there won't be any problem. Qin Yun said with a smile. All right, tonight we will first meet with Ji Jinxiao. Then we will go find Tiger Turtle. Xian Rujing said. Back then, Ji Jinxiao bought a map from Jiang Zhilong. She must have secretly made a copy. The Tiger Turtle has half of the map on its body. After meeting with Ji Jinxiao tonight, if they have a good chat, they can get the other half from Ji Jinxiao. Qin Yun, how is Shuaru's battle prowess? Xian Rujing suddenly asked. I'm not too sure about this, but she is not weak. Qin Yun laughed. She just crossed fourth half immortal tribulation not long ago. She has been using divine liquid to cultivate. She should be very strong. Xian Rujing nodded her head in relief. Wait for an opportunity. I will teach her some cultivation methods. Nangong Shuru often stayed together with Yao Fong inside the Nine-Sun Divine Soul. She learned many things from them. She is also very curious about Yao Fong's identity. She only knows that Yao Fong is very mysterious and formidable. She is an immortal. Night fell. Qin Yun and Xian Rujing changed their appearance and used another identity card to quietly leave the city. During the day, Xian Rujing took the opportunity to obtain other identity tokens. If they use their original identity card, they will be discovered once they leave the city. Now Sea Demon Royal Race and Xian Sea Divine Race people are inside the Immortal Sex City. These two powerful races have brought the 5 oceanic races and the 3 pirate gangs. They were a very powerful force. Therefore, other families in the city want to rope them in. Xian family, Xian Yuan family, and other families also know about the enmity between Qin Yun and these two great races, so they agreed to help find Qin Yun. After Xian Rujing and Qin Yun left the city, they ran for more than 2 hours in the middle of the night. They are far away from the Immortal Sex City and arrived at the foot of a small mountain. Qin Yun, you hide. Let me meet him first, Xian Rujing said. Qin Yun nodded, then arrived at the summit of a tall mountain not far away. He took out the Lion King cannon and observed Xian Rujing, who is a few kilometers away. If there is any danger, he can immediately take action and buy time for Xian Rujing to escape. Not long after, he saw a vigorous black figure flying over. It is Ji Jinxiao. Xian Rujing, why are you alone? Where is your manservant? Ji Jinxiao looked all around. She did not see Qin Yun and said again, he is being chased by 2 great races. It is normal for him to be vigilant. You can let him come out now. Ji Jinxiao heard that Qin Yun is an inscription great master, so she came to try her luck. Xian Rujing looked behind Ji Jinxiao and asked in low voice, are you being followed? Xian family, Xian Yuan family, Ji family, and Jiang family's younger generation are all following each other. They are also trying to find clues about Immortal Family's treasure. You can rest assured, no one can follow me, Ji Jinxiao very proudly said. However, just as he finished speaking, 5 black-clothed people jumped out and surrounded Xian Rujing and Ji Jinxiao. Ji Jinxiao, what is the meaning of this? Xian Rujing immediately became as furious as thunder. Her eyes are filled with killing intent as she glared at Ji Jinxiao. Who are you? Ji Jinxiao is also dumbfounded. He did not expect that he would be followed by people without even realizing it. Xian Rujing looked at a rather fat black, clothed masked person and said in cold voice, this guy should be Fatty Xian Yuan. Chapter 1209. Counterattack and kill strong enemy. Xian Rujing thought that Ji Jinxiao is very smart, but now that she is being followed by a fool like Xian Yuan Ping, she feels that Ji Jinxiao is just as stupid as before. Ji Jinxiao, you are really something. You actually let this pig follow you, Xian Rujing said with sneer. You and him are both 4th tribulation half-immortals. Can you defeat him? Xian Yuan Ping furiously said. Xian Rujing, don't try to sow discord between our Xian Yuan family and Ji family. My target is you, not Ji Jinxiao. Ji Jinxiao gnashed his teeth, looked at Xian Yuan Ping, and yelled, Fatty Xian Yuan, why are you following me? Quickly, scram. I am discussing business. Ji Jinxiao, it is not like you have not followed me before. Let's not talk about each other. Xian Yuan Ping laughed loudly. Originally, he did not know that Ji Jinxiao and Xian Rujing would meet at this place. He received news that Ji Jinxiao left the city overnight, so he personally followed them. Generally speaking, the young disciples of the various clans in the Immortal Sex City were all being followed. This was also something that everyone knew. Ji Jinxiao's anti-tracking ability is too weak. That is why Xian Yuan Ping managed to catch up. Ji Jinxiao, I have 5 people on my side. 2 4th tribulation half-immortals, and 3 second tribulation, half-immortals. Can you defeat us? Xian Yuan Ping chuckled and took out a long sword. It seems to be an immortal tool. Fatty Xian Yuan, give me some face. Quickly go back. Don't cause trouble here. Ji Xiao calmed down and said indifferently, You tell Xian Rujing to hand over that set of clothes. We will take them back. I will also pretend that I did not see your meeting. Xian Yuan Ping looked at Xian Rujing and said in cold voice. After the exchange, he returned to his family and was cursed by his elders. If he does not take back those clothes, he will not have any good days in the future. Xian Rujing is very angry. I took that set of clothes from your hands fair and square. Do you want to take them back now? Xian Yuan Ping laughed loudly and said, Indeed. Now, everyone knows that your little manservant has a large group of enemies. Your immortals will definitely not protect you. Then again, you left Xian family early. You must have already fallen out with those old fogies of Xian family, right? I want to take back those clothes. What can you do? Can you beat me? Ji Xiao is now in a difficult situation. He feels that if he cooperates with Xian Rujing in secret, he might be able to obtain some benefits. Even though he was the leader of the younger generation in Ji family, his days were still rather reserved. His immortal jade beads were embezzled and so on, so he wanted to earn some extra income. Qin Yun sent sound transmission to Xian Rujing. Let Ji Xiao deal with Xian Yuan Ping. I will support you. Xian Rujing secretly sent sound transmission to Ji Xiao. Ji Xiao agreed to help and took out a large scimitar. At the same time, a lion's roar came from afar. Qin Yun summoned the Nether Realm Heavenly Lion. The Nether Realm Heavenly Lion he summoned was not very big. It was the same size as a normal lion, but this was the strongest Nether Realm Heavenly Lion he could summon. Xian Rujing knows that it was summoned by Qin Yun, so she is not afraid. Following that, Qin Yun released the newly repaired Puppet Protector 13. Shuiru, your opponent is a 4th tribulation half-immortal. You must be careful. Qin Yun also let Nangong Shuiru come out. Nangong Shuiru is wearing a mask and black clothes. She nodded and flew over. Xin Yuan Plain thought that they could suppress Xian Rujing and Ji Xiao with their power, but the sudden appearance of a helper caught them unprepared. Xian Rujing sensed Nangong Shuiru's formidable aura and immediately felt a lot more relaxed. After Nangong Shuiru flew over, her aura locked onto a masked black-clothed man. He is a 4th tribulation half-immortal. Ji Xiao yelled with smile. Xian Yuan Ping, you are dead today. He finished speaking and hacked down with his saber. Originally, he lost a lot of face being followed by Xin Yuan Ping, but Xin Yuan Ping was very overbearing. Not only did he not give him any face, he even wanted to ruin his plan. Therefore, now that he saw Xian Rujing has a formidable helper, he decisively attacked Xin Yuan Ping. Nangong Shuiru's speed is very fast. She arrived in a few blinks. She is holding a long sword flickering with white light. That masked half-immortal immediately felt great pressure because Nangong Shuiru's aura is very strong. Xin Yuan Ping cursed himself for being careless in his heart. Now he can only fight against Ji Xiao. Even if he doesn't want to fight, he has no way out. 2 of Xin Yuan family's 4th tribulation half-immortals have already run far away to fight. The remaining 3 second tribulation half-immortals are also facing great pressure from Xian Rujing. It must be known that Xian Rujing is very strong. She has heavenly tribulation divine ability. Moreover, she summoned 3 second tribulation half-immortals, Snow Woman immortals. These 3 Snow Woman immortals look exactly the same as Xian Rujing, but their hair is white. It looks like they're covered in frost. They are wearing snow-white clothes. They are fluttering in the wind, giving off a burst of cold intent. You are dead. Xian Rujing is not the least bit afraid of 3 second tribulation half-immortals. Not to mention, there is also Nether Realm, Heavenly Lion, and Protect Shursan's puppet. Qin Yun also did not let Protect Shursan participate. After all, this puppet is very important. It can lead them to the tiger turtle. Xian Rujing sent sound transmission to Qin Yun, telling him not to participate and just watch from the side. Qin Yun is paying attention to Nangong Shuiru. Nangong Shuiru's sword technique is very good. It moves like floating clouds and flowing water, soft but firm. Each sword attack is very fatal, forcing the masked man to dodge. Moreover, she can use a kind of white flame to condense it into a fire net that enveloped the black-clothed man's body. The black-clothed man is wearing very good armor and has a low-grade immortal tool. He can block Nangong Shuru's attack. Otherwise, he would have already been killed. Qin Yun is not too worried about Nangong Shuru now. Boom, boom, boom. Furious Xian Rujing waved her hand and summoned ice-cold thunder and lightning containing berserk might to bombard the three black-clothed men. These three black-clothed men are very weak when facing a super genius like Xian Rujing. Qin Yun can sense a trace of heavenly might power from the thunder and lightning summoned by Xian Rujing. Back then, Xian Rujing also obtained heavenly might Dao technique. Qin Yun did not expect that Xian Rujing would be able to master it so quickly. Xiao Yun, this woman has ice goddess perception. It is normal for her to master heavenly might Dao technique so quickly. Moreover, her heavenly tribulation divine ability is a perfect match for heavenly might Dao technique. Ling Yuner said. Xian Rujing's fury soared to the sky. The thunder and lightning she summoned now is the same as when she's going through tribulation. It is bringing along dreadful heavenly might power. Although these three black-clothed men are not weak second tribulation half-immortals, they have been frozen by three Snow Woman immortals' full-strength ice and snow power, causing their bodies to become very sluggish. They have no way to dodge this kind of dreadful tribulation thunder. So long as they are struck by the thunder, they will feel endless pain all over their body. Xin Yuan Ping saw how ferocious Xian Rujing's power is and secretly regretted following her, because all the people he brought with him are now in a disadvantageous position, especially those three black-clothed men who are fighting Xian Rujing. They're screaming miserably after being struck by the thunder and lightning. They don't even have the strength to retaliate. Go to hell, you bunch of trash, Xian Rujing furiously shouted. She's like a female devil. White thunder and lightning burst out from her body, surging with ice-cold aura. Hoo-hoo-hoo! Xian Rujing's immortal sword swiftly stabbed and brought out a burst of snowstorm. In the blink of an eye, that ice-cold sword pierced through one of the black-clothed men's throat. The other two black-clothed men are scared out of their wits. They wanted to escape, but they screamed miserably after being struck by the tribulation thunder. Want to run? Xian Rujing's ice-cold voice seems as if it came from the netherworld hell. Shwa shwa. Xian Rujing swiftly stabbed twice and killed those two black-clothed men. No blood flowed out. The blood has been turned into ice. Xian Rujing coldly groaned, then stabbed a few more times and took out half immortal life crystals. She knows that Qin Yun wants these things. Xian Rujing, you slut, you killed our Xin Yuan family's half-immortal. You are dead for sure. Xin Yuan Ping furiously said. I already sent sound transmission to Xin Yuan family. You won't be able to run. Ji Jinxiao, you deal with him first. Xian Rujing coldly groaned, then brought along three Snow Woman immortals and rushed towards Nangong Shuru. While she was flying over, a loud rumbling sound suddenly echoed in the sky. A white violent thunder ferociously smashed down with the aura of 10,000 caddies and landed on the black-clothed masked man's body. Nangong Shuru also seized the opportunity. Her sword flew out and pierced the head of the black-clothed man. Rumble! Rumble! Xian Rujing summoned even more violent thunder and bombarded the black-clothed man. Nangong Shuru is at the distance. Her lily-white palm lightly waved and released fourth tribulation half-immortal power. The power condensed into sharp energy blades that flew out like a gale and a shower of rain and landed on the black-clothed man's body. Finally, Xian Rujing rushed over, used her immortal sword to behead the black-clothed man, and took out his half-immortal life crystal. Sister Shuru, you worked hard, Xian Rujing said to Nangong Shuru with a smile. No problem, we are all sisters. Nangong Shueru gently smiled. Xian Rujing picked up the immortal sword of the fourth tribulation half-immortal and threw it to Nangong Shu. Take it. Thank you. Nangong Shu is very surprised. She did not expect to obtain an immortal sword after coming out to fight. Although it is a very weak, low-grade immortal sword, it is better than the one she is using now. Nangong Shuru flew back to Qin Yun's side and very happily returned to the Nine-Sun Divine Soul. Xian Rujing then rushed towards Xin Yuanping. Xin Yuanping wanted to run, but just as he was about to run, he was knocked back by the ferocious Nether Realm Heavenly Lion. Ji Jinxiao saw Xian Rujing rushing over and promptly dodged. Rumble. Xian Rujing unleashed Heavenly Tribulation Divine ability and summoned Violent Thunder. Although she is only second Tribulation half-immortal, the Violent Thunder she summoned caused Xin Yuanping to feel a burst of numbness and pain. Although it is not fatal, it is very annoying and even slowed him down a lot. Ji Jinxiao and Xin Yuanping were evenly matched before, but now Xian Rujing joined in, causing Xin Yuanping to be outnumbered 2-1. Xin Yuanping, you are courting death. I gave you a chance before. Ji Jinxiao yelled with smile. If you kill me, Xin Yuan family won't let you off. I already sent sound transmission back. Xin Yuanping's heart is filled with fear because he can sense Ji Jinxiao's dense killing intent. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.